And there it is, Buff.
and
We're
we're
live.
live.
You weren't expecting that, were you? No, nobody ever expects to be
It's
live.
working.
It's working.
I look fat because I'm sitting way back in this
I
chair.
look fat because I am fat.
Yeah, I'm starting to lose weight, but
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
We started this diet. I did it once. It's a paleo diet. Okay, we eat nothing but meat.
Oh, okay. I've been on one of those.
I did this 10 years ago. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days.
I lost a lot of weight doing that, but then I never wanted meat again.
Oh God, really?
Oh my God, it was like it is a grease diet, is what it was. Oh man.
Wait, let us greet
who's
our
there?
friends.
Who's
It's
there?
Don and Wendy English. We're in here first. I don't know if it's Don or Wendy.
And Fubar?
Fubar is always here. Fubar is omnipresent.
Omnipresent?
Yeah, omniscient.
I don't know.
He's that. Okay, he's all the good things. Stang Lincoln, Kurt Zimmerman, George Bonney. George Bonney, you're like number 6, man. Josh H, Jesse Zankowski, what's happening? J. Russell Finch, Killer B. Oh God! All right. Hello, everybody. We're just gonna say hello,
Don and
generally to
Wendy
everybody.
English, they're the ones that have that Valiant that has, or maybe it's a Lancer that has the single carburetor with the
with the 4-barrel, and
that is so cool. I don't know why
that
I
car's
like it.
got a lot of stuff
like
going on. A lot of crazy stuff going
I
on.
gotta see it in person one day. Buff's back. Yeah, I'm back. Not for long. I'm here for 2 weeks.
Ominous Nabisco. Right, ominous Nabisco, right? Oh God. So Kathy brought me coffee, and I didn't even have to use the voice.
You're gonna hate it though.
I think I hear.
Why am I gonna hate it?
It's dark.
Why do you have it to be dark like that?
I can't get it any lighter.
It looks like a cup of heat.
I know, the coffee came out really strong. Sorry.
Pour it in 2 cups and then put more white stuff in it. How is it?
Holy shit!
Is it too strong?
Did you even put water in it, or you just?
I did.
Does coffee come just liquid black
it's
stuff?
Just coffee grounds.
It came out super strong. I don't know why.
Oh God!
I'm sorry.
All right, no, that's cool.
What are they saying? We're not. It's hard to read from back here.
It is hard to read from back.
Yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
Mopar Man 72, or Roadrunner. Okay.
Auto Impulse. Am I still daily driving the Jeep? Yeah, I can't stop. I love the Jeep.
And then I bought a Jeep.
And he bought a Jeep. He got a Patriot, which isn't really a.
It isn't really a Jeep. It just looks like a Jeep and says Jeep on it, but it's kind of like a car, kind of an ugly car. But it was cheap, and I can drive it in the snow.
Orlando wants to know if I'm Italian background. Yes, 100%. Mr. Wilson says Ultra Cathy is the best. Ultra Cathy, you are the best. So yeah, like I wanted to do something outdoors. As soon as I heard Buff was coming, I was like, "Ooh, we have to do an outdoors." Like when people missed when we used to do the parking lot.
You know where I went on the way here?
What's that?
I stopped at the Speedway.
Did you?
Speedway, not Speedway. What is it? Racetrack. Racetrack. I stopped the racetrack.
There's a Speedway across the street.
Yeah, I stopped the racetrack because I needed gas. And while I was sitting there, remember that old van that sat there? It was in our background all the time.
Yeah,
the van sitting there.
Oh, Mike Smith sent a super chat, $5. Thank you, Mike. Tony, how's this for a day? It's my 16-year-old birthday today. Happy birthday! And my mom gives him her 73 340 Dart Sport. Nice. Wow.
Yeah. Mike's just 16 and he got a car.
Yeah. So when I turned 16,
got the right kind of car too.
When I turned 16, my mother just threw food at me.
What happened when I was 16? I bought a 64 Ford. And it was in 1970, so it was a 6-year-old car.
Okay.
What did it say about Buff there? I missed it. It just scrolled
I don't know.
up.
Let's see.
It just scrolled too far. I've never seen Buff. Hi, Buff. Oh, hello.
Yeah, there he is.
I used to be here all the time, but then I had to go to work again.
He was like the Ed McMahon, right?
Yeah, I used to say,
yeah.
Here's Tony.
Right, remember that? Of course, half of our audience has no idea who Ed McMahon was. or the whole Johnny Carson thing.
You know,
Because we're
though,
old, man.
you
We're
know
really
what?
old.
We're old,
Pasta
but they
Vazul.
but they all know what all the '60s and '70s cars were, even if they don't know the personalities.
What gets me right? What I never get over is that there are guys who buy these cars and they start working on them and hopping off of it like as if they're new cars. They talk about them and they think about them and they treat them as if they're current cars. Like, does that make any sense? Like, the
I don't know.
mentality of the guys who are buying these cars and like and watching this channel and doing all of these things with their they treat the cars the same exact way we treated them in like when we were buying them when we were 8 years old off the wanted press or the local paper.
Did you guys get kicked out of the gas station? No, we just didn't go there anymore. I don't know. Tony got a nice studio.
Jason Feldman says I ruined his Leonard Skinner. How did I ruin your Leonard Skinner, man? Uh, Damon Brenwald. Damon Brenwald. Do you think any company will ever think about making a simple car without having a computer to do simple stuff again? Uh,
Oh, they might think about
they
it,
would be
but
so
they
much
can't
cheaper,
do
more
it.
reliable. Currently, they can't do it, but I think we're dealing with a. I think we're going to see a period of technological de-evolution, right? It's like everything went too far, and now it has to like go back. It's just like it's like a wave. You ever see if you ever follow stocks, okay? You ever follow any of those markets? Everything happens in waves. Okay, so you go up, down, up, down, up, down, and every time it goes up, it goes a little higher,
Hey, Zero,
and
I'm
then
listening.
yeah, and then when it goes low, it goes higher than the next low. So you get higher highs and higher lows. So that's like your bull market. Okay, and I think there's been a technological market going on in machinery for the last, I don't know, 50 or 60 years, where it's like been relentless. So I think that it's set for a pullback. I think that at some point people are going to demand something simple, and they're going to have no choice but to give them something simple. It's coming. There's no question that it's coming.
You know, I used to work on these cars every day in the '70s,
As did I.
and sadly, I had no appreciation for them.
Right. I
I
know.
just I just worked on them, and it was a job.
Right.
And now I look back on them, and wow, I walked over to this car when I came in the backyard here, and I'm looking at it, and it's like it just all comes back. You can look in under the hood, and you can see the ground, and it's
Hmm.
room around the engine, and it's simple, and it's like,
I know.
man, why didn't I just buy like 100 of these? When they were cheap, that just didn't appreciate what we had.
No, I agree with you 100%. We were really, literally living the dream. All of these cars that people that they're like sought after and loved and coveted and everything else was just the junk that we worked on every day.
Man,
You know?
I remember somebody come in with a big Chrysler product, and I had radiator cooling system shop. Open up the hood and the water pump's leaking. So you give them a quote. It's like the water pump's $8 and it's like $15 to install it. And you go out there and take the fan, the four bolts off the pump, clean off the surface, put the new pump on, and they're ready to go.
Yep.
And they bitch about the price.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
shit! The whole job wasn't even $30. Oh
Ross
man.
Lafave is asking if we want a free car. I don't want any more cars. I have too many cars. I have to get rid of cars. I literally have to. I'm at the stage of the game where I need to get rid of stuff.
How
So
many people we have in here? We have anybody in here that's out like in Arizona, Southern California, New Mexico, maybe Nevada? A very good friend, probably my closest friend, got killed in July, and he was in here sometimes as Carl M or Comtech, and I don't remember which name he used but those are both names he used on YouTube. But he was a Mopar guy, and he had a 65 Plymouth wagon, C body, a big one, and it's out there. It's got a 318 poly in it. The engine's no good, but the rest of the car is excellent. And the guy that's the executor of the will needs to get rid of that thing. And I'm trying to find a Mopar person that
well,
would like it.
There you go. If you got a Mopar person in Arizona who wants a 65 C-body wagon,
Oh, and it's perfect. There is
a
not
rust-free C-body
a
wagon, go get it.
not a spot of rust on it. And if you do want it, get a hold of me. Just email me, Buff Del Campo at gmail.com. And I'll get you in touch with the guy that's the executor of the will.
I'm surprised there isn't just a buffdelcampo.com.
Well, there could be in the
There
future,
should
I
be.
suppose.
And a Wikipedia page. Is there a
A
Buff Del,
no.
There's no Buff Del Campo Wikipedia?
No.
So let's just say, for example, somebody was curious about the life and times, the history of Buff Del Campo.
Oh, that'd be terrible thing to write.
How would they go about researching you?
Well, the best place to find out is just come on here.
That's true. Okay. So we have a lock.
And you can listen to my lies and my bullshit, and then you know what I'm all about.
They're better than my lies and bullshit.
I know. So you and I lived in different areas of the country, completely different society, but we were both wrenching on cars. And I kind of know what you're doing. You kind of know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little different. It was still the same cars, you know.
Those were great days, though.
Man.
Damon Brinwell says,
What's
I
it
still
say?
remember my dad's 66 Polara with a 383 blowing the doors off the neighbor's 69 GTO.
Well, you know, this wagon, you could put a 440 in it, you know, and that'd be a hell of a station wagon. Or you could just put a 318 Poly in it and drive it, you know.
Jamie Van Eiderstein says, Uncle Tony's lies are good. They're the best. A lot. I mean, I seriously make up pretty much everything that we talk about on this channel. Like, okay, like this green Duster behind me, it's a cutout. It's not even a real car. It's a cutout.
What's that mean?
It's well, you see, it's just a cardboard cutout of a car.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all props. You know, I work in a Waffle House. I work second shift in a Waffle House, and on my days I get Sunday night and Wednesday night off, so I come here and I do these lives.
You couldn't work 1 week in a Waffle House without getting fired. No.
I'm the manager now.
You're the manager.
I'm the night manager.
Can you spell your email, Buff?
What's that?
Spell your email address.
Buff Del Campo, one word. It's BuffDelCampo at gmail.com.
Which, interestingly enough, is not his real name. And I don't know what his real name is. And I forbid him to ever tell me what his real name is. So that I only know him as Buff Del Campo.
Well, and that's good, you know.
Yeah.
At work, I'm getting some new tools.
Okay.
And they're tools that might end up here. So I have to put my name on it as BDC or Buff or something. And then the people at work, Buff. Because they know me by a official government name.
County Zero saying hello. Mustang Manny wants to know if you're Italian, Buff.
No. I can't give away my real name. I don't even want to say it.
Why?
It's mostly French descent.
Okay.
But that's okay, I guess. My family's been in the Americas since 1624.
Wow.
So then, of course, they married every kind of person, and so it's really, I'm a mutt. I'm just everything.
Picus Burton. Hey, Tony, my uncle recently passed. Sorry about that. And I acquired his 82 Yamaha XJ750J Maxim with the full dress-up kit. It's been sitting in his garage since 1986. Wow. Is that a good find? Should I keep? Yeah, that sounds like I mean, that's it. Okay. I was never crazy about the Maxims. I always thought the look was a little weird, and their gearing is funny too. They have like super low gearing. All the Yamahas from that era do. But yeah, I mean, hell, a 750 Maxim, it's basically essentially 4 years old. It's been sitting since 1986. Grab it. I mean, yeah, of course. There's a big market for that type of bike right now. All of the UJMs, man.
John Wilburn.
That is John Wilburn.
Yeah, he says Buff. So I said John Wilburn. Yeah, I've watched a few of his videos. But, you know, I work too many hours, so by the time the evening comes around, I turn on the like on Wednesday night. You're live.
Mhm.
I can't. I can't watch it. It's too late, and I'm pooped out.
Jason Froman says, "Love ya, but you need to keep it Mopar, not Lance.
What's why? What's why keep it Mopar?
There's I don't know like there's not for nothing. Okay, I mean, but there will always be Mopars on this channel because I'm surrounded by Mopars. You know,
Who made your
Mopars are
Jeep?
well, yeah, that's Mopar. It's an AMC. Actually, it's a French design. Renault
So
actually
so it's yeah. It was that's actually AMC. Oh no, Chrysler owned AMC by then.
no.
Oh,
No, it was
what
a
year is
joint
that?
venture between AMC and Renault, and then Chrysler bought Jeep in
Okay,
1987.
so what year is that?
Mine's a 2000. Mine's a the one on the side is a 94, and the one that I drive is a 98.
So they are Mopars.
They're Mopars,
Yeah,
but
and my new Jeep is a Mopar.
the point is right. You know, there'll always be Mopar content on this channel, but we post nearly every day, right? We post nearly every day, like every day, every other day, depends on what's going on. And so there's always, I mean, you're going to get at least one hardcore Mopar thing a week. Most Mopar channels only post once a week. So it's like you're getting a safe amount of content, Mopar content from us, as you are from any Mopar oriented channel, but we do other things too.
What's this? Is Buff Citron? Oh my god, I had to work on a Citron once. What a pain in the ass! It's one of those ones with a hood that slopes down and a little four cylinder, and you pull the intake and the exhaust off, but they got studs, so you can't get they hit the fenders before you get off the end of the studs. Oh my god, what a nightmare!
Paul Capizzola wants me to fire up the Duster. It's got no battery in it, man. It's been sitting. That car hasn't moved in a year. I painted it. I drove it around the block and parked it back here, and it hasn't moved.
You got to call me Wilford Brimley. Peugeot. We used to call them Pigots. Peugeot.
Happy.
Duster. We'll take it out. It's mechanically it needs nothing. I'm probably going to repaint it. I'm not crazy about the way the paint came, but the only thing it needs, I got to put a headliner in it because it's got that cardboard headliner and it's all like janky, and it has a rust hole in the floor right by the gas pedal about yay big that I got to fix. But other than that, it drives like a brand new car. It's just we've got it in reserve. It's like, you know what I mean. If I need a nice daily driver in a pinch, I have it.
So Big Bear said hello.
Big Bear, Uncle Kathy says hello. Do I know the Brunt brothers? The Brunt brothers is Cliff Gromer.
How's this mosquito smoke working? Is it okay?
Well,
I'm not
I soaked myself with that
Are you getting
spray.
bit?
I got one bite,
Okay.
but I may have gotten that before I sprayed. I don't know.
Hey, Olive.
Tony 2510 says hello, Tony. Hello from Tony. Yes.
Do you like blue
Mike
Rex?
Fredericks. Yes, Mike. I know the Brunt brothers are actually Cliff Gromer. There's no such thing as the Brunt brothers. The Brunt brothers is Cliff Gromer.
So they're brothers. It's one guy.
Yeah, he used all different kinds of names.
Okay.
He used the Al Dente, the Brunt brothers. He used a bunch of different names.
Who are the guys that were here? There were two brothers that were here when you had the open house, and they had like a 1980, some kind of a, geez, what is that thing? Maybe a Charger. Or, what's the 1980?
The Antonises.
Yeah, because I remember him by another name because he did the same Buff Del Campo thing I did, and he was. No, I can't think of it. I usually can think of it. But yeah, and you met them in New York when there was somebody coming the other way and the headlights didn't work in this whole story.
Yeah, that was my friend Paul.
And what are their names?
The Antonises, Paul and Mike.
Paul and Mike Antonises. Yeah, I remember them real well.
Matt, it's Tony. Which is lighter, Kathy's Dart or the Green Duster? The Green Duster. Kathy's Dart has like air conditioning and power steering and all that stuff, and a V8.
It doesn't have air conditioning.
Sure, point out my flaws.
Open the
Failing.
window.
It's just another piece of junk that I can't make work right.
Why can't you ever finish anything?
I don't know. Why can't I ever
I
finish
don't
anything?
know.
I wish I could finish
You show
something.
I
on
know.
our birthday,
What's
buy
that?
her an air conditioner. She can put it in, and you can video it.
Fubar just put up the link to our merch.
Hey,
If you want to buy,
DeSoto.
if you want to buy Uncle Kathy air conditioning for her swinger, there's the shirts that we sell and the
What
hats
about
and
heat? It doesn't have heat either.
yes, it does have heat. Don't
The
talk
fan
shit about
doesn't
the heat.
work.
The fan works.
DeSoto.
The fan works. You want to go out there right now while I show you it's got heat?
It kind of just oozes out from under the test.
No, it's fine. The heat's good.
The heat oozes out from where? Under the hood? What's that, from the headers? Just-
Um,
oh, where's the line?
did you ever have a Mike Payne? Did you ever have a car project you gave up on? Yeah, several of them. On
All of
this,
them, right?
all of them. Yeah, because I don't finish anything.
You can't finish a car.
In the time that we started this channel, I could think of three. There was the
You got rid of the Ram Charger.
The Ram
I got
Charger.
rid of the Ram Charger.
Yeah.
Right. I got rid of that. I was going to do that Honda motorcycle, the
Right.
CB. Yeah, I got rid of that. And the Hemi Mitsubishi, but that was the kind of thing. It was a joint effort between me and my friend Kiwi, and he's just so slammed. I could tell when I dropped it on him, he just had no interest in doing anything with the car. So it's just like that was it. So I mean, yeah, but yeah, I've lost interest in many projects, and I know the difference between I don't want to work on this right now, but I will at some time in the future. And those are the cars that you see around here now. I don't want to do anything with them right now, but I know I'm going to do something with them in the future. And then there are cars that I look at and I say, it just doesn't do anything for me. It's got to go. So
I saw Lot Burns' name come through here. I got to go up and see him.
you got to go see Lout.
Yep.
What are you going to see Lout about?
He's got a 318 that I'm going to get.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my Jeep up there. Instead of putting that 318 in the back of my Mazda, I'll take the Jeep up there, put it back, bring it back. And it's in pieces, I think. So it should just.
Do you want to tell stories?
Oh, the Gambler 500. Yeah, well, I didn't really give up on. See, I kept the
You
car.
changed it.
I just changed it, so it's a little bit different.
Do you want to tell stories?
Tell stories about what?
Mike Fredericks wants to know, can you talk a little about the 70 GTX and the Mag articles drag racing on the street? You could tell the story about how you got it.
I did tell that story
You
once.
did? You told that already?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
Well, how'd they know about it?
Well, because it was an article.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you search your name and you find articles.
Let's see.
Stories.
Slaghammer. That's right. Slaghammer. I picked up the tunnel ram. We're going to put a tunnel ram on that thing. A tunnel ram first, then a blower.
Hey, Lot, I can't get up there in the next 2 weeks. I'm in Tennessee. But I'm going to get back up there to Maryland. I bought this Jeep. I got to fix it, but it's an easy fix. And then I'll drive up that way. But I'll get with you first, make sure you're there, and so we coordinate it.
Matthew, Miss Schnick.
Huh?
I'm so sorry.
Mishnick.
Matthew Mishnick. $5. Thank you, sir. What's your favorite car chase movie? Bullet. I mean, and so I'm not really a big movie guy, right? So I don't really watch very many movies, and I've never actually seen the whole movie Bullet. But the chase scene I've seen 1,000 times, because how could you not watch that? You know, it's pretty intense. Also,
My favorite one was the first Gone in 60 Seconds. The one with the yellow Mustang.
I never saw that.
Really? That's a good one. And it wasn't done real well. It was done cheap, but it's still really good. Still great.
Mike Fredericks, can you talk a little about the 70 GTX and the Mag articles drag racing on the street? That was our daily driver. It was a 70 GTX 440 car. I bought that. I paid $900 for it. I bought it from BBC Machine over in New Jersey. They couldn't get it running. They had it there. They couldn't get it running. And I went there with my buddy Neil.
You said you told the story already.
Well, I'll tell it again.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell it again.
I have the emblem. It's in the kitchen.
Do you really still have the emblem with that car?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh my God! See, she saves everything. I save nothing.
How'd the emblem come off?
I don't even
What'd you
know.
hit?
I don't know. You ask her. I don't remember. So I was there with my buddy Neil, right? And I saw the car in their parking lot.
Keep it in the brake front.
How did this come off the car?
We took it off before we got rid of it.
We took it off?
Mhm.
How did we get rid of it?
I don't remember what happened to it. To the car.
You only kept that
sold,
part of the
you sold
car.
it to somebody.
There you go. That's
it.
from the Cars Illustrated GTX.
Yeah.
Uncle
would've been
Kathy
better off.
saves everything.
You would be better off you kept the car and lost it.
Yeah, it's true. Give me that back.
So
Back in the brake front.
So they couldn't get it running. They couldn't get it running. And they were asking like $1,500 for it, right? Which was a lot of money for a GTX at the time. The car was clean. It was nice. It had everything in it. So I offered them $900 for it, and they're like, no, we get better than that. So make a long story short, I said, well, start it off for me. So they couldn't get it started. It's cranking. I says, listen, I give you $900 for it just the way it sits. And they're like,
that's all the money we had.
yeah, it was all the money I had.
It was our anniversary too.
So I says, they says, all right, take it as it is. So as they were cranking it, I could hear that the timing is retarded, right? So I hand him this is exactly how it happened. I should go blind and struck by lightning. All right, we're standing in front of the car, right? I hand the guy $900, right? He hands me the title. Well, I got the title. I put it in my pocket, reached in, I grabbed the distributor. I went oof like that, right, or to move it forward. I jumped in the car, turned the key, and went, and I was in, and I drove away.
I remember Neil when he pulled up, he was like, "Oh my God, you have no idea what he just did." I think he was embarrassed.
And then
what shop did you buy that from?
BBC,
BBC
Bon Tempo
right?
Brothers
Yep.
Competition.
Yep.
And somebody just did a video about them. about it being like the last of the old school speed
Evan
shops.
do it?
Maybe it was Evan. Yeah, Evan Smith. Evan Smith on his channel, Reverend Evan. He just did a video about BBC, and that's the place I got the GTX from. So at any rate, that was our daily driver. It was started out automatic. I converted it to 4-speed, and was that a car that you started driving? No,
I was driving it while I was pregnant.
Oh, that's right. You were driving. You were pregnant.
Yeah.
That thing had
A heavy clutch.
a heavy clutch, heavy clutch.
That's the car I really learned how to drive on.
Yeah.
Like I knew how to drive, but I really learned how to drive on that.
And I street raced that car constantly. It was all the time. And that's the time that it was exactly about the same time that I started doing the technical editor work for Cars Illustrated magazine. And then I became a writer, and then blah, 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 blah. And here we are, 40 something years later.
Report to the UTG jail. Dakota's timeout.
Funny.
Uh-oh. Something's vibrating.
That's this.
That's you?
I
you?
at least I turned the ringer down.
Okay.
It could be the government.
Oh no.
Well, it could be.
Be out looking for a flying sausage.
Flying saucers?
That's it. But he says I'm out
Nosebud
in
33.
the Nevada desert.
Nosebud.
Area 51.
Area 52.
Area 52.
The one that they don't talk about.
Oh, the one they don't talk
right.
about.
Nosebud 33, LA 318, board 40 over, RV cam, 360 heads, pistons, intake, carbs, headers, MSD, truck runs best at 40 degrees in advanced initial timing, but still wonders what you have problems. Look, let's not even, the only answer I'm going to give you on that is that you have problems. Next. Okay. Dallas is here. Yeah.
Is Buff back permanently? Well, no, I got to go again, but I'll be back again. I'll be back next week, and then I got to go for a while. Eventually, I'll be back permanently.
Oh, and listen, the live we're doing. So Andy with the GTX, the Hemi GTX. Not this weekend coming, but the following weekend, the weekend of the 23rd, 24th, it might be. I don't know, whatever it is. It's not this weekend coming, it's the following weekend. We're going to be doing the whole live thing there. So we're going to be live Friday night, we're going to be live Saturday, putting the whole thing together, and then we're going to be live on Sunday, sticking it in the car. So, and do the cam break in and the drive. So you're probably talking about 20 or 30 hours of live broadcasting over that whole weekend. So that ought to be interesting.
Am I still considering going back to doing radar? Yeah, when I'm done with this, that's what I want to do. I want to do some, and I don't want to be like all day long every day, but I'll do some radiators for some older cars. And if you have older radiators and you replace it with aluminum one or something, keep that older radiator because I'll be able to put cores in them and make them nice again. But don't throw away the parts.
Um,
Keep the old radiators.
Wayne Buzzle would love the chance to meet you and rap in person. Well, I mean that could be arranged, man. Because I tell you the truth, I'm seriously thinking about doing some rap lately. Um, Popping the caps and smacking the bitches,
What?
the hose, right?
What?
Popping the caps in the hose.
No.
Yeah, I'm very much into that whole thing. So yeah, maybe we could get together and rap in person. Definitely. Uh,
These attached? Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
they are. Why, you want to take one up?
I was going to stick one back here because
Yeah, you can just
he
untie it.
wants to shoplift
It's just
shoplift
two
one.
untie the.
Eureka 7 with two-pack or Biggie? Yes. Yes.
What was the question?
Actually, I was on Facebook. I was on Facebook, right? I should not go on Facebook, right? There's video. I'm flipping, right? And there's this video of some rapper, some blonde chick rapper, right? That's just it's just too obnoxious. I don't know the name of it. If I could think of the name of it, I would definitely worth checking. Have you seen this?
No.
This twerk until I die or some shit like that. Mo Pardon, thank you, sir. Some cash for the cardboard cutouts. Tell Buff I'm 10 minutes away from Loughton Burns. It'd be great to see him when he's up there. And you guys can maybe even rap together. Snap some caps and the bitches and the hose. And
I'll be up there in my
right.
Jeep. See, I bought a Jeep
Snuff the pigs, definitely.
to pick
What?
up some engine parts.
Big Bad John, Uncle Tony, can you rap? I didn't you just hear me? Come on, this stuff it just comes
rolls
right
off
out of
your
me. Yeah.
tongue.
If I had some cardboard, I'd do some breakdancing for you. I do that too. Kurt Zimmerman says 1967 was the first year for the Chevy 350.
It was.
Now you know.
I had a '67 Camaro with a 350 in it.
That was a small General motor, wasn't it?
It was a small. That's what I was always told. A small General
Yeah.
motor. It was a strange car. It had a 350 and a Power Glide and a 12-volt posi.
Go
Is
figure.
that weird?
Probably a trailer towing package.
I don't know. I bought it and the left front was crushed and the headlight was stuck open. It was an RSSS. And the night I got it, I fixed the front end and painted it all the same night, and the headlight worked. As soon as I pulled the dent out, the headlight went closed. I loved that car. I shouldn't have sold it. That was back in the days when everything was for sale.
The Kickendall is here. Okay, that's unbelievable. The Kickendall there, the Del Campo here. It's too much. There's too much. Buff, we've only got 103 likes.
How many people are in here?
It's only 132
243.
No,
Why
it's
do we
243.
only have?
243.
Why do we have so few
105.
likes?
I think this is reflecting directly on you. I hope
It's
you don't take
me.
it personally. Buff.
They just got so stunned by this they forgot to push the button.
How do you get to that?
You have to tell none of our Australian
I'm
friends
pinching
are
your
on
head.
now, right?
What?
I said none of our Australian friends are on now, right?
I don't think so.
The friends from down under.
Yep. We can't ship there anymore.
Chicken though, how did you
Why
like the
not?
pics
Oh,
of the
because of the
homemade
color?
seat covers I threw up on yesterday? I didn't see them. I was too busy watching the blonde chick doing the rapping. I think I watched it like 3 times, and I says, no, enough
Okay.
Facebook for the next year.
I know which blonde chick you watch. The 2 cent chick.
Oh, she's awesome.
I watch her. I don't catch all her videos because I just can't. The only person I watch every video is UTG.
Ah,
And there's a couple others I get most of them.
Brian Jeffs is an Aussie. Okay, so Australia sent all of our packages back because you
Why?
guys aren't allowed to get mail.
your
Why?
government is not letting you get mail.
Right. They sent a package came back today saying sorry, no mail to Australia.
It is costing me a fortune. It's
Right.
costing me hundreds of dollars.
To send stuff there and have it come back.
Yeah.
And we have to refund everybody, of course. So
Right.
like we're in the process of doing that.
So I'm out the postage and I'm out the
Okay, this is the solution.
$30
Somebody
to
from
mail it.
Australia come here, pick up everybody's stuff, and take it back with you in your luggage.
Yeah, like we're sorry guys, but the post office is literally sending back the stuff that we shipped out. Saying
What is it? Did
it's
you?
not getting in the country.
Can you vaccinate it first?
I don't know. I think so. I don't know. It's horrible though.
the giant asteroid has to be like right.
We're
I mean-
sorry, guys. We really are. Like as soon as they stop that insanity, we will
That
get
is
you.
insanity.
You guys got some crazy stuff going on over there, man.
We feel really bad, but yeah, that's what's happening.
Didn't they just buy a nuclear submarine from us?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they did. Maybe
Did
you could put
say
this.
vaccine?
Maybe you
We're
could
in
put the
trouble.
stuff in the nuclear submarine.
We're not allowed
center.
to say that.
Oh, you're not?
Oh, right. There were words we can't say.
Right.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
we're
I
on
didn't-
YouTube.
Oh, no.
I didn't know we couldn't say that.
No, we can't say that.
Mr. Wilt, thank you. Buff and Tone, what was the strangest experience you had with a car that really made you think the car was controlled by an unknown reason? Bro, everything I do is controlled by an unknown reason. I come off as pretty rational, you
I
know,
didn't
but
know we couldn't say
it's
that.
just a facade.
Yeah. It's too
Uh,
late. It's all right.
So, experience with a car that really made me think it was controlled by, meaning it was haunted, I guess.
The bird, the Roadrunner, with the shifter like just pulling out, like that.
I had so many experiences.
Couldn't drive it. Nobody could drive the car, but
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
Oh, I had cars like that.
I've had so
Yeah.
many
I was the only
experiences.
one that knew how to drive them.
No, but like we parked it. We had to get the radiator done by Gene, and Gene went to move the car, and the whole shifter came
Right.
out.
I mean, again, see, I've had so
Yeah.
many experiences with so many cars. I couldn't even, have you ever had a particularly haunted car experience?
I don't know about haunted. I've had ones that I had to fix somehow, or I didn't have it. I couldn't do it right, so then I was the only one that knew how to drive it. Back in the early days when I had no money, but I was doing engine swaps.
Mike Payne says eBay is canceling.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah, let me read that. eBay is canceling orders to Australia, seizing the parts and refunding the money to the buyer. As the seller, I get to keep the money. Okay, well, I don't get that choice. I don't get to keep it. I got to refund everybody.
What about your nonsense?
It's crazy.
I mean, I don't usually get upset with other countries, but that just seems kind of odd.
It's crazy.
Beeline Bennett saw a 1964 Dodge Polara with a 426 dual carb Hemi at a car show. Any chance that the motor is the original? It's
No.
possible.
64
Yeah, race
with a
Hemi.
Hemi?
It could have been a race Hemi.
Oh, I thought they were all like max wedges and stuff then.
No, 64 half year max wedge and then half year Hemi.
Oh, okay. Shows what I.
It would have been a
I
cross
didn't know
ram.
that.
It wouldn't have been an inline 4-barrel in 64. It would have had to have been a cross ram because there were no street Hemis in 64, just race Hemis.
Here's the picture. Mail service suspended.
It's crazy.
So,
Harley Hawk says when he pulled my Bonneville's original spark plugs out, they had 666 on. I remember those plugs. The spark plug of the beast.
What's it? No 64 max wedge race Hemis. What? No 64 max wedge.
Yes, there were 64 max wedge. There absolutely were 64 max wedge.
I remember I tried to buy a 63 Plymouth the guy had. It had a 426. It said Golden Commando on the side, 426. I wanted that thing. He wouldn't even give me a price. And it's just an old, nasty looking car.
Let's see. Eureka 7 Wave. Did any of the Hemis ever have a single 4-barrel carburetor, or was the CFM way too low for one to be feasible? The NASCAR Hemis did. NASCAR didn't allow dual quads after 1964. I don't even know the year. I'm not a NASCAR guy, but NASCAR then they had what they called the bathtub intake, like the Pontiac bathtub intake. The Chrysler had a bathtub intake. It was the cross ram. It was the same. It was the regular cross ram base, but with a single 4-barrel, and the 4-barrel was actually set down into the top plate of the manifold.
What's this mean with John Wilburn? Buff seen Dallas microphone.
Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's asking. I didn't know what that meant.
Did the NASCAR Hemis have a Harley 3-barrel? Possibly in 68, 69. I don't know.
I didn't think anybody knew about that carburetor, and then you did that video.
Wayne, no, the rat roaster didn't come about until 1970 or 71. And that was for Superstock, because at that point you didn't have to have the factory casting anymore. It had to use the factory carburetors, but it didn't have to be the factory casting. So at that point they went to the rat roaster.
Aliens didn't take me away.
They didn't.
We took them away.
Did you probe them?
What?
I can see you probing an alien, Buff.
I'm talking about alien girlfriend. I
Dallas,
can't tell the girls from the boys.
Dallas says it's the most. I don't want to go there.
Okay.
Jeez.
They're just all gray.
Did you just? Oh, Paul, did you say it gets a 3-barrel Holly? No. Tomorrow morning I'm going to check, because the videos generally peak after about 48 hours. So tomorrow I'll check, and whoever's got the #1 comment, they're going to get the carb.
This Dakota has 11 more minutes of freedom.
Well, John Wilburn evidently has plans to lock him down.
He doesn't even do anything wrong anymore. He gets locked up.
Well, neither did the Australians.
They didn't get locked up.
They're locked down. They can't move.
Yeah.
They're all stuck in their houses.
Are they really?
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff there. In Australia, you can't talk to your neighbor. You think I'm joking?
Can you yell like across the yard?
No, you're not supposed. You can't talk to people. Is that what's going on there in Australia? Because that's how I understand it from over here.
It says here Dakota needs regular timeouts. He's a growing boy. You know, we met him. He was 16, but that was at least a year ago. He must be 17 or 18 by now.
Harry Australia says not here in Adelaide.
Okay.
So what's not here in Adelaide? Okay, so you can talk to your neighbor in Adelaide?
I don't have a neighbor in Adelaide. Greg McDonald says a guy got arrested for being outside.
What the heck? He's 17 now. Man, you're almost there.
American Hot Rod wants that carbon. Yeah, I know that. Dallas texted me yesterday after I put the video up saying I could use that carb for and I was like, I feel bad now because I put it out on video that I was going to give it away to the guy that had the most likes on the comments. I can't renege on that. You know what I mean? I wish I had known. I would have given it to Dallas.
Brian Jeff says, can talk a bit, have to wear a mask, can't have people in your house.
Can't have people in your house.
You can't leave the house, but you can't have people in the house either? What do you do? Get in the doorway?
He says only go places for essential reasons.
For what reasons?
Essential reasons.
Like buying food or something? Or
I guess so, yeah.
is there any food?
I don't know. Wanting to get out of the freaking house is an essential reason to me.
You gonna do the video on the dual point distributor? I had it written down for you.
Well, I'll tell you
you're
what.
gonna do that.
I decided instead I'm going to act it out. I'm going to act it. Yeah, dual points.
See, you have a whole different option on the dual point distributor. You use it differently. Instead of having more dwell, you use it to change the timing. I think that's pretty cool.
I use it both ways. On my other cars that are up front here, they all have dual point distributors, and I use them as just regular dual point distributors.
What can you tell them about the aliens? No, I don't work with aliens.
Chris Greenaway, UTG, how do you feel about this motor war? 420 Pontiac versus 428 FE souped up 389 versus souped up 390, which is better? How do you feel? Motor wars? You realize you're talking about engines that have been out of production for 50 years, a half a century? They've been gone for a half a century. There's no war. There's no war.
They're just all big motors. They got about the same cubic inches. You can make them all perform.
Yep.
And I've had Pontiacs and I've had FEs. And I like the FEs because they went in the cars I have.
Dave cares for you. Really? I mean, really? Dave wants to know, how much timing does a stock 318 like naturally aspirated? Between 32 and 34 degrees total. And you want that in as early as possible. Mike and Willow Conley want less engine talk, more conspiracy stuff.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
Yeah, I got to watch out. I'm like, yeah,
Can we do like this kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess so.
As long as I don't say the word.
Right, I guess so. I don't know.
I had to get mine.
How about thoughts on engine conspiracies? I have one.
Are there engine conspiracies?
I have an engine conspiracy that I'm completely convinced of, having to do with the camera, the Ford camera.
Oh, I know the engine. What?
Yeah. Well, the official story, okay, is that NASCAR looked at it and says, no, you've gone too far, right? You can't run that. It's too crazy, right?
Something like that, yeah. But they were around. They drag raced them.
Yeah, that's because they had all of these cameras that they built, and they had to do something with them, so they gave them to the drag racers. But I think that somebody from Ford went to NASCAR and listen, this thing, it's really exotic. We put a lot of time and effort into it, but it doesn't really do very much more than the push rod motors do. It wouldn't look good for us, right? How much would it cost to like ban this engine? And they were like, whatever it was, make it do life, right? And I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't think that they banned the engine because it was too crazy, because it never dominated any place else. It never did anything better than any of the pushrod motors. And I'm not saying because I'm a Mopar guy, right? It never did anything better. It did the camera never did anything that the big block Chevy couldn't do. Forget about the 426 Chevy. Pretend it doesn't even exist. The camera could never do anything that the big block Chevy couldn't do. So what was the point of it? Except it was very fragile, exotic, and temperamental engine. Very hard to deal with. Very hard to work on. It was difficult all the way around. So I think Ford realized after because they were like, okay, well, this will be the doomsday device. Nobody will ever beat this thing. And so they put it out there. They realized after testing it that it wasn't going to be anything spectacular, and that it was going to be trouble prone. And they paid NASCAR to say, on this, that's my engine conspiracy. That's my hot rod conspiracy, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And Dave cares enough about us to send $9.99. Thank you, Dave. That's much appreciated, brother.
You know what the camera was really good for? When Ford guys see one, they all gather around and they go, ooh. And I was one of those guys.
They spelled sock wrong.
Sock. I was one of those guys sometimes. I had some cool looking engines.
Mike and Willow Connolly now care about Dave. This is great. This is great. Dave Kisner, you help us so much. You deserve more. No, Dave, I appreciate that, brother. Thank you so much.
Has anybody ever built a turbo flathead? And if you can think of it, it's probably been done. Two things come to mind. Do you mean a flathead Ford or flathead Chrysler, which I have some experience with those. Never turboed one though.
Scott speech. What's happening, brother man? He's saying, where was he?
Scott speech up.
Yeah. Tony's live chats are filled with the coolest people. That is the truth, man. That is the absolute truth. Listen. That's why we don't promote these things. We just come on because we don't. A lot of channels will like promote their. We don't want that big crowd. We just want this crowd that we get. A couple hundred people is great because it's like this. We get to hang out and bullshit, and then it's not.
Is that a second $9.99?
That is. Dave, stop caring so much. I appreciate. I appreciate all the care. Thank you so much.
You know the Chrysler flathead, the 6?
Yeah.
I had a friend in the Air Force had a 48 Plymouth. That's what it had in it. We had to go on a trip, but it blew a head gasket. So we went out there and he took the head off of it, which took about 5 minutes.
Right.
And he sprayed copper coat all over the gasket, flipped it upside down, put the head back on it. We went on the trip. Never missed a beat. I couldn't believe we did that. Got away with it.
You could do that with the old cars.
Man.
Did you get Wayne Ferguson's question?
No. Where is it?
Because I was talking.
No, it's okay.
Oh, Wayne Ferguson. Hey, Tony. Even though polished intake ports was said to be the performance direction, you are one of the few that explain how surface tension contradicts that theory. Yeah, well, I don't think anybody's ever actually put forth the theory that a smooth intake port is already manifest. Exhaust port as smooth as you could make it. But I've never seen anybody talk about smooth intake ports.
What makes more difference? I mean, I watch them. It's getting rid of the irregularities, the castings,
yes,
and matching the intake so you don't have a lip,
right.
A step. I mean, that's the big thing, right? I mean,
on the intake side. Yeah, I mean, you volume is always good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you do things like inside the bowl and raising the roof and stuff like that, and taking down the valve stem, boss. You do all that in the name of increasing the overall volume of the port.
Now the what you call the valve guide boss, I guess. That thing's almost round. Well, I know from aerodynamics, you don't want something round. Can you airfoil shape that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I cut them when I do like when I have time, like the couple of heads that we ported like for this channel, there was no time. You know what I mean? I rushed through them to get them done. But if I'm doing a set of heads for myself and I have time, right? No, I take those things down so that literally the stem is exposed. You know what I mean? Like I'll take them all the way down so that the round circle that the guide would pop through or the valve would pop through isn't even round anymore. It's
more airfoil shape.
You know what I mean?
See, I work on airplanes and I have this. I don't know what happened to it. I had a big poster on the wall and it was huge airfoil shaped thing with a round dot in the middle, and it said these two items have the same drag of this little dot in this big airfoil thing, and you always think about that,
DOA, wouldn't dimpled ports be better? Mythbusters prove that dimpled body on a car is more efficient than smooth body. Yeah, I mean you could dimple them, but I don't think it's really that necessary.
Was that like a golf ball?
Yeah.
You talking about dimpling?
Yes. Yeah, okay. There are some people who actually dimple the intake ports.
Oh.
And here's the thing about okay, so flow through a port doesn't happen the way you think flow through a port does. Okay, flow through a port isn't a linear thing. Flow through a port is a back and forth jerking motion. Okay.
Oh, it's off more than it's on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's a back and forth jerking motion. Dimples, I believe, would be too big to actually have an effect. Like dimples, if you had a column of air that was moving really fast, okay, for a distance, those dimples would keep the air doing this. Okay, they would keep the air in circulation. They keep it off the walls and they keep it moving around. But because the air column, the intake column in the port isn't going like this, it's going like this, it's not going to have that same effect. Whereas keeping the walls just textured and rough is enough so that as the mixture, as the column is going like this, it doesn't stick and fall out of atomization. So I don't really think I haven't tested them back to back. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I would speculate that dimpling probably isn't the way to go in that. If dimpling was the way to go, it would become a standard in race engines. Smokey Unick would have discovered it in 1955. Bill Jenkins would have preferred 1971, right? All of these great minds, these great engine builders, would have dimpled their ports if there was any merit to it. So that's how I look at stuff like that.
What is going on?
It says here, without fail, outdoor live.
Yep.
Sirens wail. You know, where I live in Maryland, I live in an apartment right around the corner. That's where the sirens live. So every call, fire trucks, ambulances, all day, all night. You sleep through it now.
Anthony Smiley, thank you. Here's 10 just to hear you say why the Big Block 383 is an awesome engine, which I agree. Yeah, it's just a happy motor. It's like everything about it is happy. I can't. I did a whole video on the 383. If you want to hear my thoughts on the 383, just search this channel. 383 Mopar.
Where am I
I
at
did a
in
whole video
Maryland?
on it.
Where am I at in Maryland? You know where Pax River is? Naval Air Station? Right about there. Real close.
John Wilburn says that Andy Wood's dimple strategically in the plenum. Okay. But has he ever dimpled in the ports? Beat me, but you can't break me. Right. That was the 383 video they did. Scott's speech up. I thought about building a 383 for my Duster instead of building the 340. You know what, bro? Flip a coin because they're both like outstanding engines. I think the 340 has a bit of an advantage just because of the weight and the overall better cylinder heads. You'll make more power 340 than you will with a 383. But from like a stock standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they're hard to beat, man. The 383 is just such a happy engine.
Can you find them, or are they
Oh yeah, they're
disappearing?
still out there. They're
It's
still
like
out there.
Big Buff 4, the FE engine. Man, I was into Y blocks. Then the FE came around, and they were newer and they were hard to get. Then they're in the junkyard. They're easy to get, but I guess now you can't even find them. I don't know. Maybe they're around.
FEs. I was in one of my local yards over here,
Yeah,
and there were like 5 FEs.
390s.
Yeah, all different displacements.
Man, I like those engines just because I know they're not perfect engines, but they were big and they bolted in our 56 and 57 Fords, and so we liked them a lot.
The 383 and the 340 are like the 327 Chevy, where it's just the happiest engine. Out of all of the small blocks, the 327 was just the one that just runs hard. You can't break it. They're super flexible. They're just awesome engines. And it's like you take the same combination, you take that same basic engine, and you look at like the 400 Chevy, the small block, and it's miserable. It's just not a happy motor. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything well. It only runs as good as a 350 or even a 327 for that matter. But you take like just a typical like early small journal 327, and they're just the happiest motors. And like you can't help but love it. Like to have a 327 is to love a 327. They're just and the 340 and the 383 are the same type of engines. The 302 Ford, your 289 302 Ford, same thing. I know the 351s a bit more power with them. Cleveland's are awesome. I got all of that right, but there's nothing happier than a little Windsor.
Yeah, I had 289s and 302s, and then I just lucked into getting a 351 Windsor.
Right.
I loved that engine. It was like a big 302. It was beautiful. All my friends had Clevelands, but I liked my Windsor
I love Windsor.
It was compact, not quite as compact as the 302, but it fit in everything that I had and worked so well. This scrolls by so fast. I see that somebody asked there about wouldn't the port be better? I don't remember exactly how they worded it. Wouldn't the port be better smooth like the skin on an airplane? Oh, here he is. He did it. Same question again.
No, the skin on an airplane is affected by the boundary layer.
Well, and sometimes if you want the boundary layer gone, you can put some roughness in like with some vortex generators or something
Right.
to get rid of it. But and like in the tail, what I do on a tail is like the rudder. I'll make the rudder just a little bit wider to trip the air up again and suck that air in against the rudder.
Well,
But the boundary layer will actually hurt you there because you'll lose a little effectiveness on the control surface. Oh,
yeah,
I could really get
but
into this.
what the impression that I was always under was that it's the boundary layer that allows aircraft to be built out of lightweight materials.
I hadn't really thought about
Because
that.
if it wasn't for the boundary layer, the surface would always be buffeted.
Yeah, you're right.
But the boundary layer keeps the airplane basically operating in a bit of a vacuum or a bit of a bubble.
Sometimes you don't want the boundary layer, but yeah, you're right. Most of the time you do.
Well, you don't want the boundary layer by the control surfaces.
Oh, like on the trailing edge of a control surface, I square it off just slightly, so you get a little vacuum back there, and it sucks that boundary layer right in against
Yeah.
the trailing edge of the control surface. You look at aerobatic airplanes, and they're almost all like that. But some people like it tapered right back, and they actually lose a little control because of that. But on the rest of the airplane, yeah, the boundary layer helps you, of course.
You know, think about
Yeah,
it.
it gets rid of the drag.
Not just the drag, but the wind is always buffeting. It's always hitting.
Yeah, it's about the
Right.
thickness of a dime, and yeah, the air isn't moving right there. You're right.
That's why I get paid the big bucks.
You should be up there working with us.
I should be. French Onion says I'm an expert on aircraft. No, he's actually an expert on aircraft. It's what he does for a living.
Buff is French. See, you go back in the history of my family. They came from actually where Belgium is today, but they got here in 1624 and started marrying people from all countries and Native Americans and everything else. So I'm not French.
Holy Hawk says aeronautical engineering is fascinating.
Yeah, it's almost too fast. I've been doing it too long. It was so much fun when I was young, and now it's a job.
Wait, you're off of.
I'm off.
Yeah,
I got to
I'll
lean
turn it a little bit.
closer
No,
to you.
I'm turning a little bit. There you go.
Okay.
This way we don't have to be too close. I don't want to. Don't touch me.
Don't touch you.
Don't touch me.
Okay. Yeah, you don't even. I always laugh. You wouldn't drink coffee. Did I touch the cup?
I don't want to be served by a male.
Man,
I only want to be served by females.
what do you do? Like when you go get something out of the grocery store, you don't know who put it in the cabinet.
Well, I got no choice. When I have no choice, I got to deal with it. You know, but I'm never happy about it. Like if I go to a restaurant and I've got a male waiter, right? I'm seething. You know what I mean? Yeah, I tip them well because I know it's not their fault. I know it's my
not
own
their fault.
thing.
They're male.
It's not their fault. They're doing their job. I'll tip them as well. I'm nice to them. You know what I'm saying? But inside, right? I'm seating. If you ever wait on me, if I'm ever in your restaurant and you wait on me and you happen to be a male, I am angry inside. I'm just raging inside. But I'll be nice to you and smile and pay you and everything else. You'd never know from the outside, but yeah, I'm weird like that.
I'm not back for good. I am back this week, next week. Then I've got to go up there and I got to work on this project some more. And eventually I'll be back because I'm tired of not being home. I like being home, Tennessee. Really like it. Felt so good to walk in my house. Except the spiders, it kind of took over a little. I spent an hour killing spiders.
Wait, Mr. Will wrote a book and sent $10. Thank you, Mr. Will.
Oh, look at that.
U-Tone. My 85 GMC Sierra 3500 one-ton pickup. 3500 one-ton.
That's right.
Okay. Is starting to act up. Needs a carb. Has an Edelbrock. Don't know which carb to replace it with. It's a 454. Turbo 400, 410s, 37-inch tall tires. Need more torque.
What? Oh, it's a 454. Man, that should have lots of torque.
I mean, a Quadrajet is probably the Quadrajet's going to give you more like bottom end torque, you know, than the Edelbrock would, only because by virtue of the fact that it's smaller primaries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's got, what's it say? Has an Edelbrock, so maybe it's not a spread bore.
It better be at least an 800 Edelbrock. You know, I remember
an Edelbrock carburetor, yeah. not a manifold. Okay.
And an 800 Edelbrock only flows about the same as like a little over 700 CFM as for in like Holly terms. So I tell you what, I'd say an 850 Holly is probably the end. An 850 Holly is probably the carburetor that you want on there. You could try that larger Summit carburetor. They actually work really well. I thought they were a joke. I swear to God, I thought they
Oh
were a
yeah,
joke.
that's the one that looks like the old Ford carburetor.
It is the old Ford carburetor,
Oh, I love those
the
things.
4100, and then the
Yeah.
40 something of it.
All my old Fords had them.
Yeah, when I first saw those things, I thought they were a joke. I swear to God, I was like, oh, right. But no, no. After I played around with one, it is an excellent carburetor. So you might want to look at that. Look at the larger version of that Summit
And they're
carburetor.
not the most expensive
No,
carburetor
they're
on
dirt cheap. I mean, as far as new carburetors goes, they're dirt cheap, like $300. How do you beat that?
Oh man, there's a lot of stuff scrolling by here.
Uh,
I'm sorry, everybody. I just can't read this stuff fast enough because it zooms by.
let's see.
I keep seeing Mexican Spec's name pop up, but I don't see him. Zeros and Mexican Spec. Where's Mexican Spec? You ever look at Mexican Spec's Instagram?
Yeah,
You got to look at that.
I never get on Instagram.
Oh, you got to look at it. He's got so much good stuff on there.
French Onion wants to know what you do on airplanes. I don't even know what you do on airplanes. What do you do on airplanes?
Oh, I update them. Well, I designed some airplanes a long time ago, and then some companies, or one company in particular, bought one, and we made a UAV out of it. And then now we're updating it with it had a normally aspirated engine. Now we're going with turbo and all the stuff I dislike, electronic fuel injection and CAN buses. And here I am to relax. I come around with those carburetors
And points.
and points, all the stuff that works. Oh man.
You're welcome, Mr. Will. Scott Speech up. Tony missed my Daisy Duke comment. And I said, I did miss it, bro. Run it again. I'm sorry. I don't want to scroll all the way back.
I missed something there. Buff was there. Orville and Wilbur. You know, I met a guy that one of those guys signed his pilot's license, but he's long gone. Man.
Jim Jungle says vacuum secondary 850 is calibrated or 502 Chevy 454 truck should get a Q jet. Is that why would you think there's such a huge difference between the 502 and the 454? It'll work just fine. Oh, if I ever have to wait on Tony, I'll be sure to do it with my Daisy Duke. Scott, no, God, no, don't do. Yeah, now I regret you. No, don't do that to me, bro. Come on, I don't need that kind of imagery in my head.
Making Predator drop. I don't work on the Preds. Doing other stuff. There's so many drones out there, but I work on stuff that's that size.
Wayne Ferguson wants to know if hempcrete works good as heat tiles for reentry. Joe K. Tony, when you take road trips, do you use the map on the phone GPS or use the folded paper map? No, I use the GPS on the phone. I'm only a Luddite when it comes to cars, really. Clayton K. Thank you, sir.
Oh, you're up here. You're coming up here to get the dog biscuits.
Yeah, Maggie, get off the table.
Here, come on down here. No. Come here.
Okay, Clayton K. I have an 87 302 with E Street heads. Edelbrock says not to use them with a roller cam or why not? Or rev over 5,500 RPM. I hear it is because of the valve springs, but I also hear it's a powdered metal valve seats. What do you think? Well, okay, I wouldn't understand how powdered metal valve seats would be affected by a roller cam. That doesn't make any sense to me. I could see not going over 5,500 RPM with those valves. The valve springs are much more likely to be the reason why they're saying not to use a roller cam. But I'm really not that familiar with. I'm not familiar with those heads. I would say valve springs would be the reason for the lack of roller. Over 5,500 RPM is probably because of the powdered seats.
I don't work at Area 51.
52. He works at Area 52. Uh,
Where they keep the real secret crap.
yeah.
Oh, God.
Mike and Willow Connolly, the 80s were funner than the 70s. Changed my mind. No, the 70s were better. The 70s were cool.
You know what was good about the 80s? I was working on 70s cars.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the
That's
truth.
exactly what I was doing. Who controls the drone strikes? I don't know anything about the ops. I know about systems and hardware and
Didn't they have you carrying the nuclear football for a while?
oh man.
Buff has the launch codes.
Was it during one of the presidents in the past? They drove off and left the Marine there with the football. The guy walked back to the White House with him. Oh, geez. I threw that on the floor. You got on the floor. Now you're back up on the table. Why are you on the table? There's a dog on the table.
Yeah, it's Maggie. Maggie, off.
Hey, she listens to you. Yeah, sort of.
The 70s, Mr. Willow, 70s and 80s were cool, but the 70s were wild. They were. If you weren't there, I can't explain it to you. Mr. Roman, thank you, sir. $5. Novice question: 1974 E150 short van, 351 Windsor. How come one wheel move in the back on a rear wheel drive? How can I make both spin? 80s rock. Because you have an open rear.
Yeah, you gotta get a locker or something.
Yeah, you have an open rear, meaning that it's not positive. Okay, General Motors calls them positive traction. Chrysler's call them sure grip. Ford's called them. Oh God, what's Ford call their posi?
Why can't I think of that?
It's
We used to just call them lockers. What's a Detroit locker?
well, no, a locker is different than a limited slip.
Oh yeah, who called it the LSD, limited slip differential? Whose terminology was that?
All
That
of
was
them.
General Motors.
No, that was Ford. But at any rate, yeah. In order, Mr. Roman, in order to get both of your wheels to spin, you need to uh, uh, get a limited slip differential for it. You're looking for a posi or limited slip for that rear, and I'm sure it's a 9-inch, so it would be a very easy one to get parts for. Traction lock, drag pack Mercury. Of course, somebody with the name drag pack Mercury would know it's called traction lock. But no, that's the locker that they used in those cars. What do they call just the regular like 1970s, 1980s?
You're on the table.
Travis Mopogo, well, despite years, he doesn't. He's not looking for that kind of thing, man. I could tell this. It's just like a driver type of car. He doesn't, or van. He doesn't want to.
Yeah, just don't push on the gas.
Track lock, Ford Posi. Okay, track lock.
What's
Then there you go.
Track? Who did that?
Oh, Sure Track. Yes, Sure Track. That's the one.
What is Sure Track?
That's the Ford. Yeah. Track lock is Dodge. No, track lock is definitely not Dodge. Sure Grip is Dodge.
What did AMC call theirs? I was just reading about that. Now
Twin Grip.
Twin Grip.
Yep. See, AMC, I know.
Not a lot of people liked AMC cars, and I didn't when I was a kid.
I love AMC.
And then the late 60s and early 70s AMCs were really something. I bought something really stupid, but I liked it. In 19, I bought a Matador, ones with the big headlights up front.
Did it have the AC setting that said desert only?
Mine didn't have AC.
Okay.
Mine was pretty much bare bones. She wants to kiss Buff. Yeah, well, I can't believe there's a dog on the table, but she's on the table.
Studebaker was twin traction. I gotta get Steve Magnanti back on here. I see he knows all of that stuff.
I didn't have that AMC for very long. I've had two new cars in my life. I had an AMC Matador, and I had this.
That's right.
Mazda.
Pontiac was safety track. That's right.
If you enjoy parts hunting, build an AMC. Well, you know, there's a lot of cars like that there just isn't a lot of stuff left. I kind of like my AMC stuff. A Gremlin. Gee, I had a friend with a Gremlin. We put a 429 and a C6 in it. It had a tunnel ram on it. 556 gears. That thing flew. Traction lock. What's traction lock? I remember these names, but I can't place them. AMC's are.
Steve Magnanti is gold. Yeah, he certainly is. Have you been watching his channel? He's been posting short videos every day. He's been posting like 2-3 minute videos every day.
I haven't, man.
Oh, come on, you
With
got
me, it's time. It's time.
You
I
got to
watch yours.
support.
I come home and I turn on your video, and then there's one other I watch probably every day, and it's a guy that does welding and body work and this kind of stuff. You know who it is. The guy in Canada. Bad Chad.
Oh, bad Chad. Tony Scott speech up. Tony, do you have carbs for your low deck tunnel ram? No, I don't. Although I mean, I got some 600s kicking around. I got some in the garage, but I don't know what I really wouldn't know what I want to use yet. If you need anything, let me know. I will. Also, let me know if the winner of the 3-barrel needs anything. I'm gonna announce the winner of the 3-barrel tomorrow.
Catalyst was called controlled differential. Huh.
Douglas Filer, I've been watching Steve and hitting the like. Yeah, everybody support Steve, man.
I gotta do that too. It's just time. I am dead tired at the end of the day.
Yeah, he's really trying hard. He's trying hard. Travis Mole is the only channel to watch. Not by a long shot, man. There were some really good channels out there. French and Steve made a flying saucer vid. We're actually we're talking about doing a live that's just talking about flying saucers and stuff. It's something that or UFOs, you know, whatever you want to call them, UAPs. It's something that both of us have a fascination with.
Or you didn't watch? Listen to who's the all night guy that died? Did all the UFO stuff.
Oh,
Art Bell.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I was Art Bell fan for years.
I had George Norrie on. I fall asleep every night listening to George Norrie.
Really, see, because once Art Bell was gone, I don't know, and my life changed too. I ended up working in daytime.
Actually, I think I like George Norrie better than Art Bell. Art Bell was good. He was good, but I like George Norrie better.
I ended up working in the daytime, so.
Douglas Farley, there aren't enough hours in a day to watch all the good car channels. That's the truth. That's the truth.
There is so much good content. I can't watch it all. I watch Uncle Tony, of course, and a couple others. And you know, there's a lot of good stuff out there.
The last 3 or 4 nights, I've been binge watching this bike guy. He's Bikes and Beards, which I am convinced he is the penultimate YouTuber. The guy is just fantastic. Bikes and Beards. If you're into motorcycles at all, watch this guy's channel. He's fantastic.
Bikes and
Beards.
Beards.
Yeah.
So now I got another one I gotta watch. I go to sleep every night trying to watch YouTube.
The Magic Apple. Can you tell us about your haunted 426 Hemi block? It wasn't a 426. It was a 392. And I'll tell us. I'll tell you Halloween. I'll tell a story on our Halloween live.
I've seen UFOs twice.
Bonzi drummer. Wayne Ferguson, hey Tony, at least it's mostly drunks who trash their cans there. Here in Kiwiland, it's all types of garbage on the roadside.
Really?
Tennessee,
I didn't expect that.
Tennessee has very clean roads. Um, People here are conscientious. You know, people don't just toss stuff out of the windows unless you're a drunk, in which case your can goes out the window.
It is cleaner here, isn't it?
It is. Well, you see the contrast. You're up in Maryland. You come down here, and what's the
Well,
difference?
you know, in Maryland, I don't see a lot of it, but I had a friend from Chicago.
Right.
He come down to see me, and we're driving along in his car, and he's eating McDonald's, and he takes the whole bag and all the stuff and chucks it out the window. And I go, dude, I said, you're not in Chicago anymore. You're in Tennessee. Don't do that. Which he gave me a pretty nasty answer because he didn't see a problem with that.
Oh, man.
And I see a problem with that.
William Sanders, my roads in Delaware are trash. Some of Delaware is beautiful and pristine, and some of it is a real.
I had a shop in Ohio on a 2-lane highway. Every morning I go out there and pick up all the beer cases and beer cans and McDonald's wrappers, and I had about 200 feet of frontage, and it was trashed every morning. I don't have that problem in Tennessee.
Uh, let's see. John Mount says you should have stopped and told him to take it up a walk.
You know what? I never rode with the guy again, and that's why.
Zero. Hey, boss. He's talking to me. Do a live with Scott Speed. That would be cool. We could do that. We could do that. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do a live, get a hold of Kathy. We'll set it up whenever you want to do it.
Says I look fantastic. I've lost a little weight.
Kathleen Murray, I'm going to be attempting my accelerated throttle cable 383 Mopar 2-barrel tomorrow and spring on carburetor. Kathleen, good luck with that. It's an easy job. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you get in there, you'll see it.
I'm sorry. SRP says not in this area in Ohio. I'll tell you where I was. I was up in the Geneva area, far northeast corner of Ohio, just south of there. Just trashed every morning.
So,
yeah, I have a hard time.
Where's Kathleen? Kathleen, all right, listen, sweetheart, this is how you do this, okay? On the firewall where the cable comes out, there's one bolt, 7/16 bolt. Take that off, okay? Go underneath the dashboard of the car. You'll see the linkage on the gas pedal, and the cable goes up there. And there is a pear-shaped opening, okay? And there's a little black plastic nub, all right? Push the little black plastic nub out, and then the cable just comes out through the bigger hole that black plastic nub was in, right? And that's it. You've liberated the cable from the car. And of course, you have to unclip it from the carburetor. And on the linkage, right, is a 7/16 nut that holds the metal part of the cable to the engine. That's all there is to it. It'll take you, if you've done it before, it'll take you less than 3 minutes. If you've never done it before, it's going to take you 15 or 20 minutes. But it's easy. Go get it.
Don't scratch. The camera's going like this. Looks like we're in a washing
I got
machine.
Maggie up on the table scratching.
Looks like
I should have told people it's an earthquake.
Looks like we're riding a washing machine on spin. Man, Olds is anti-spin.
That's right.
Is it? I don't remember that. Okay, I'm in Southeast Ohio, next to West Virginia. Yeah, that's probably a different thing, different mentality, I guess. I haven't spent much time. I had a little bit of time down there, but not a lot.
Lee Kaiser, how are you guys not getting eat up by mosquitoes? We have spray, and we have this thing over here, which it's still going. It's still going.
It's like a
it's like this thing, the mosquito thing. So yeah,
oiled up thing, and then I soaked myself. I got one bite. I probably got it before I soaked myself with that spray. $10.4.
You got it. Go get it. Uh,
Just buff like 60s, 70s old cop cars. You know, I like the 72 Polara just because I like that body style. And in California, I was there. Highway Patrol had them. So, yeah, I'd like that, but not necessarily because it's a cop car. I had a 72 Polara, but it had a 360 in it. Um, I don't know. Some of them might do. I like the Mustang. Of course, the Fox body Mustangs. California Highway Patrol had those things with 5 speeds in them. That was kind of cool. Cop car with a 5-speed manual in it.
Douglas Filer, Tony, how many dollars in cans do you think was on both sides of the road? They don't have the return here. They don't have the deposit return here. I don't know, but listen, they were. I mean, I didn't want to keep walking. Where we were was just a late smattering of them. If you go, just like probably another 500 feet from where we were, there's. I mean, like they're just everywhere. It's like it snowed beer cans.
Somebody says here, SpaceX. It's like, you know what? You know what my goal is? To finish the project I'm on and get back to my retirement and come down here every Sunday night and hang out at Tony's shop a little bit, help some of these guys. I got a lot of experience with cars. These young guys, so what is that car called? The
Junkyard Jet.
Junkyard Jet.
They're-
Yeah, sure. I mean, I could like call on that thing and help them, but I don't know if they really need the help.
Yeah,
But there are the people that you open up the trunk of my car right now, it is full to the brim. Toolboxes, everything, just in case I need them. But I come down and help.
So yeah, they were working on the car all day. They don't know. They don't need your help on that. They got it covered. Um, and they're gonna be working with the Miata too. The kid Garrett did motocross and he had auto motocross. He did autocross and he had a Miata. And they
Oh,
were actually out screwing around with it today.
so is he going to go race that thing in Clarksville or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I hope I don't miss. I'll miss it. Maybe you guys will get that. You're gonna video it.
So yeah, I think so.
Good.
We'll video it.
We'll have to see.
Mexican Spec. There he is. Mexican Spec. I watch I look at your Instagram. That's some great stuff. Today you had like a 48 Ford, and then I scrolled back and I'd missed the 51 Merc. So I looked at that today. That's what a great car that was. It's a 4-door 51 Merc. It's not all cut up. Most of them are cut up. It's pretty good.
Wild Rose Garage. Tony, what's the boys' goal ET for the Junkyard Jet? I told them, do not have a goal for
That's
ET.
right.
Because I learned from this freaking channel, right, that if you say that you're going to do something, right, and you don't automatically just whip it right out of your ass and make it happen, there are so many freaking idiots that just like, they don't understand. It's all a process, and you go A, B, C, D, and you take these little steps out of it, and you get to where you want to go. So I told them, don't even mention a number. Just whatever it runs, it's going to run, and then just keep going and keep making it go faster. So there is no goal. There's no ET goal. It'll go as fast as they can make it go.
Mexican Spec. You said that at Suicide Doors. Where did you ever find that? That is a great car. Man, you got to look at his Instagram sometimes. You say you don't do Instagram.
She does Instagram. I don't.
Do it just for Mexicans.
Really?
Just for Mexican Spec.
I'm hardly ever on.
Oh man. And of course, Mexican Spec might know my real name because I don't have a Buff Del Campo account. I'm gonna have to get an Instagram Buff Del
Do you
Campo
follow
account.
us on Instagram?
Huh?
Do you follow us on Instagram, Buff?
I do, but not a lot because I watch your videos every night.
Okay.
I never miss your videos except the Wednesday night live. It's just too late and I got to get up too early and I can't stay awake. Always bought Diplomat police cars. Oh man, I worked for a place and we serviced those things. And those are the ones with the crosswise torsion bars, and they break links. And man, I didn't like working on those things.
All right, this is I want to get this. Kevin
Okay,
Fisher, right? UT, restoring my '97 Ram and replacing most of the gaskets in the 318. The exhaust gaskets are not leaking. Should I leave them alone? Okay, here's what you need to know about those gaskets, right? They're not actually they're not gaskets as you they're a steel shim gasket, okay? They're not like regular gaskets. They're not available, right? Do not use aftermarket gaskets on it. If you're putting the exhaust manifolds back on it, put it together with no gaskets at all. Just bolt the exhaust manifold directly to the head. And the reason for that is because the manifold expands and contracts at a greater rate than the cylinder head does. That's why if you look at the hardware that holds the manifold down, you're going to see that there's conical washers, right? There's the nut and the bolt rather, and then there's a conical washer behind it. And that's so that the exhaust manifold can actually expand and contract independently of the cylinder head. If you put a regular gasket, like if you buy a Felpro gasket set and it has like those silver, gaskets in there, the exhaust gaskets, they only last for like a very short period of time, like within like a month or two, they will leak. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So when you take that apart, if they're not leaking now, leave them alone. If you're taking the exhaust manifolds off, just bolt them back together again to the head with no gasket. Don't put anything there, and it'll be fine. Okay.
Oh,
Do you agree?
I was something I don't have a lot of experience with, but I didn't really know why those washers were there. But now I know. See, I learned something.
Thank Rick for these.
Oh, Rick.
What are
Yeah.
these?
Yes. Rick. Just Rick.
Yeah.
Rick. Right? Sent me a bunch of carburetor service manuals.
1960.
Yeah. This is awesome stuff. I mean, this is beautiful. Holley metals are all of 2300, 4150, 4160 with mechanical secondaries. Carter, AFB, WCFB. All, yeah, no, this is beautiful. Chrysler, the finer point of 4 barrels. That's just awesome. 1969. The Holley 4 barrel carburetor, another Chrysler book. Yeah, no, thank you, man. I greatly appreciate that.
You also have to say happy birthday.
Yeah, I see Lot Burns in here saying about this
Thank you, Rick.
crosswise torsion bars. He does his junk design, but he goes but the cars last a long time. Yeah, I agree. You know, it's just the police cars. We had them, and we used to service police cars at this shop, and those links always break and they're difficult, and I just didn't like them. And prior to that, we had the normal torsion, what I would call the normal torsion bars on the police cars, which were
You
great.
never wish
Wait 1 second, Josh H. How do you go to no gaskets of changing to headers? Headers are different. Headers are different. Headers move with the head, right? Because the pipes are all individual. So the headers will actually expand and contract with the head. You use gaskets on headers. Always use gaskets on headers. Never use gaskets on cast iron exhaust manifolds. I have to say happy birthday to somebody.
a belated happy birthday.
A belated
Because we
happy
missed
birthday
it.
to who?
Alfredo Cartes.
Alfredo Cardis.
Yeah.
But he first to go by Fred.
Fred.
Yes. Happy birthday, Fred.
Happy birthday, Fred.
I hope you're.
Sorry we're late.
I hope you're on here.
See it.
Hey, this cat's really calmed down.
He got fixed.
Oh, I know. I was feeling sorry for him, but he's a different cat now. He wouldn't put up with this. Me
No,
scratch
yeah.
him now. He kind of likes it. DeSoto.
Some headers have a common flange. I realize that. What I mean to say
They
is
have a
that
what?
is the
Oh,
header,
I know
the
what you
headers
mean, okay.
themselves, as they expand and contract, do not move. It stays with the head. Um,
And then with everything I said about these crosswise torsion bars not liking them, I really like Plymouth Velaris. I don't care. I'll put up with it. R.I.P. DeSoto's. You know, this cat sitting here just being really nice. He's really mellow. Can I pick him up or will he go nuts?
I don't know. They'll probably. I don't know. I generally don't touch them very much.
He farted.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
You really appreciate the crossways torsion bars when you're putting headers on one of these things.
Oh, yeah, they're out of the way.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing with police cars, the cops beat the hell out of them. So they break stuff. And they break those links on those things. Oh, my God. I always ended up being the guy fixing them.
Wayne Ferguson, so cool that you were patient with the jet crew. My dad did allow us boys to use his garage and tools, but was impatient to teach. I'm old, right? I wouldn't like if this was like 15, 20 years ago. No, I wouldn't have any patience at all. But I'm old and I've mellowed a lot. I mean, a lot, right? So now it's like now I'm enjoying teaching. You know what I mean? So it's like it's good. I'm having fun with it, and I'm glad that they're getting something out of it.
Have you ever owned a DeSoto other than the cab?
No,
No.
I've never owned a DeSoto.
There's DeSotos I really like, but they're all crazy expensive now. 57 DeSotos. Man, great looking car.
Matt S. I've always used Felpro exhaust manifold gaskets on all my Mopars with iron manifolds, never had any issues. Then you're the exception because every one of these things that I ever come across that has an exhaust leak has this Felpro replacement gasket.
Talking about gaskets, what about head gaskets for the slant? Where do you get your gaskets? I thought there was an issue with that.
You can't get the steel shim gaskets
Oh,
anymore. You can get regular gaskets, composite gaskets, but you can't get the steel shims anymore. I bought the last two in captivity. I guess it was maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
man, I know a guy that makes gaskets. Steel gaskets. Talk to him. You know what a steel rule die is?
Yeah.
He was making gaskets, but we had him punching out wing ribs for us.
New City Carpet, Tony, do you mean cast iron heads to cast iron manifolds or aluminum heads? I'm talking about cast iron heads to cast iron manifolds. I can't think of too many examples where you'd have an aluminum head and a cast iron manifold. Danny Boyd once heard a horse fart and he was impressed. Have you ever heard a horse fart?
I don't want to.
Okay.
Probably large. I was just looking at what Law Burn said. He's going to put a 57 DeSoto on his Instagram, and then some other stuff went by I wanted to read, but it's going too fast. I'm missing stuff.
Wild Rose Garage. On my olds, I have had issues with manifold gaskets. I just use a thin layer of Permatex Ultra Copper and no gaskets and no leaks. You don't even need that.
Bolt them up.
Yeah, just bolt them up.
The FE Fords are like that. Just bolt them up.
Yeah.
Same with the Y block. I learned that with Y blocks. Just bolt them up. I have 3 steel placed gaskets.
Yeah, the exhaust gaskets. Linus Rossville. Tony, from your experience, what is the most common cause of non-working horn on a Mopar or classic cars in general? Usually the relay. It's usually the horn relay.
What? Milk carton works for a fuel pump in a pinch? What the hell is that?
What was it?
Scroll back a little bit. Man. Milk carton.
Works for fuel pump in a pinch? I guess. I don't know.
I don't know how that would even work. I just saw that go by and I thought, how can that be?
His horn is intermittent on the AAR. Yeah, I mean, usually it's the relay.
If water gets in the horn
If
itself.
it's an AAR, does it have one of them? What do you call it? The rim blow steering wheels, because those things are a disaster.
Did Chrysler have those?
Yeah, the rim blow.
Oh yeah, Ford's had them too. I had a Mustang had it on the rim. Well, squeeze the milk carton. Really?
Okay. Okay, the AR has never been in the rain. Yes, rim blow wheel. There's your problem. 3,000 miles. Yeah, it's going to be the rim blow.
Oh, milk carton cut. Oh, I see. Make a gasket with it. Oh, I've made gaskets out of all kinds of crap. You ever make gaskets out of?
I've made gaskets out of everything.
Yeah,
On a
me too.
pinch.
Yeah, yeah, me too. God, the trumpet horns and the caddies. You remember those? That real deep horn that the Cadillacs had, like in the late '60s.
Auto 1303. Tony, what year did Mopar discontinue the push button shifter? It was a federal law, federal regulation. They discontinued the shifter after 1964. 1965 uses a regular column or regular console mount, but it's still cable operated like the 64 and earlier push buttons.
Why was it outlawed?
It was just the federal government. They didn't want people pushing buttons. They wanted to they wanted to have
We're
a
back to
uniform.
that now. We're back to knobs and all kinds of weird
I
stuff.
know that, but this is 60 years ago. They wanted to have
What
everybody.
a bunch of idiots.
They wanted a uniform method.
I didn't know why they quit that. It's a '63 Plymouth. I used to my brother's car. I drove it all over the place. It had push buttons. Like you couldn't operate that. Only some stupid government guy would not like it.
Holy Hawk, and now we have TV screens. I know. Big Metal, how did they get away with the knobs? Well, but this was the regulation was in 1964, right? So it's like, I mean, I don't know, they changed it somewhat.
You know what I liked? Remember those Dodge A100 vans that had the shifter on the dash?
Kinsey's Taste X Miracle. Can a stock Dodge Magnum 360 last a long time, consistently running?
That went away.
Consistently running. Where the hell did it? Oh, he retracted it. Okay.
Oh, you're halfway through answering it and you retracted it?
Have you ever seen The Beast of Turin?
No.
You've never seen The Beast of Turin?
I don't even know.
Have you ever seen The Beast of Turin? Are you familiar with what I'm talking about? Because I'm gonna post a video tomorrow in the community section. Go to YouTube, right? Go to Beast of Turin. Yeah, it's a big motherfucker engine. Yeah, it is. 27-liter 4-cylinder.
Beast of Turin?
Yeah. There's one video here. Let me say. There's one video in particular. Here, entertain the people for a minute. What?
Oh, you bumped something and it started playing something else. Why did it do that?
Okay.
Careful, because if you touch something, it goes nuts.
Okay, I gotta find
Turin, Italy.
this. This is it. Okay, so here you gotta watch this.
Now we're gonna watch this.
You're gonna watch this, and then I'm gonna fast forward this a little bit because I want to show your reaction. You tell me if this isn't the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Commercials.
They're putting it together.
Oh.
Putting it together. Okay.
Oh, they're hammering it. It's all handmade thing.
Oh yeah, it's 1911 Fiat race car. So just watch this. Watch this carefully now. It's cranking it.
Okay. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll watch the whole thing later. I gotta watch it.
You have to see this to appreciate it.
I gotta watch that later. And now, I'm on vacation. I can watch whatever I want. I don't have to get up and go to work in the morning. Just getting up and going to work in the morning, man. I'm tired of it.
Lane Buzzle, you can see the pistons rise and fall in the exhaust port. The video where he's starting this thing, I think I've watched this 100 times. It never gets old. It never gets old, right? The guy grabs the crank handle, okay?
I just saw it.
The guy grabs the crank handle, okay, with all of his might, like every ounce of energy he has. He's going like this, and it's going, right? And it stops, and he regroups, okay, and he goes, right, okay, and then he stops, and he steps back like this, and like a second later, the motor goes,
Yeah, it's like,
it is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
SRP. I'm tired of it too, but that's getting up in the morning.
Like I totally don't understand that gap because it takes he goes like this with the crank and he stops and he steps back. Like he steps back and he stands up, and as he's stepping back and standing up, then the motor starts.
Well, I can just see it. It's all on compression. Everything's in there, and then it moves some slight amount, and the point's open. Bam! It starts.
Lane Buzzle, that's the one. Yeah, you've seen it, right? Is that the craziest thing ever?
Honey, I need some milk. Can you take the beast to the shops? Honey.
Doug Nard, do you think it's a wind-up gear reduction thing? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I've watched it 100 times. It never gets old. Okay, Kinsley's Tay-Sachs Miracle. Can a stock Dodge Magnum 360 last a long time with low gears and it constantly running 3,500 RPM on the freeway? Yes. It was actually designed. The small block Mopar, and it's a small block Mopar, was in a motor before. It was designed to run for days, for weeks, for months on end at 3,500 RPM. It sounds abusive, like when you're driving it. I know because I do this all the time. It sounds abusive. You're driving on the highway at like 75 miles an hour, and it's just screaming along, ah! But that's really what it was designed to do. So yeah, don't stress it.
You know, when I was younger, like 50 years ago, 3,500 RPM was a normal RPM to run at. Now, it's not.
Yeah.
The new cars. My car goes down the road like 1,700 or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, the Beast of Turin, and that start is on. There's like 50 different Beast of Turin videos if you search them, but that start is on one that's a trailer. It says Beast of Turin trailer, like as if they were going to make a movie out of it. So that's the one you want to watch to see that scene.
Oh, that was great.
You didn't see the whole thing either.
That's all I've seen right there. And that's
yeah,
enough.
no,
I've got to see the whole
yeah, if
thing.
you keep
now.
going, it's like, oh
I
yeah,
got to watch the whole thing now.
Yeah, you'll become the biggest fan of this car. It's just the most amazing piece of machinery.
This is a good week to have that happen because I'm gonna have a little time.
And this guy, this guy who owns this car, the Beast of Turin, he doesn't baby this thing. He takes this bitch out and hammers it every chance he gets. Ah, good night, Travis.
Only sounds abusive now that I got used to 2,000 RPM. Yeah, John, that's right. Your Hyundai turns 4,500 RPM or 4,050 RPM at 70 miles an hour. Are you like in second gear or what?
No,
that's what they do.
No overdrive on that thing.
Man,
I
remember 3,500 RPM was normal cruising when I was young. We had 57 Ford with 356 rear end.
David Cole, question on lift. I've got heads that flow 270 at 600 lift and a cam that's probably about 500 lift. Dart 215s on a 350 small block Chevy. Would a higher ratio rockers benefit me or too much? I mean, a 1.6 you're talking about, because the stock is 1.5. So a 1.6, yeah, I believe that it would be a beneficial to you. Yes.
That's fourth gear.
Good night, Gabriel. Doug Nard, my 91 VW Jetta at 70 sits in fifth gear. I returned 3,100 RPM and she was happy there. Yeah, all of those pre-overdrive cars, everything was tuned, like even the intake manifolds and all that. All of those things were tuned to operate optimally in the 3,000 RPM range.
That used to be normal cruising.
That was normal cruising.
3,000, a little above that.
Yeah.
3,000 to 3,500.
Beast of Porn. No, Jim Jungle. Beast of Turin. Turin. Is in Turin, Italy. Wayne Ferguson. Wow, the Beast of... Yeah, right? I'm telling you, it's one of those things. You just got to see it to believe it. Beast of Turin swapped Miata. The engine is bigger than the Miata.
Man, what did you think of that radiator shell, that grill shell? Did you see on that?
Oh,
car?
yeah. No, everything on it
They
is
must
art.
have, and they hammered that out of something. But if you've seen that P51 Mustang, 55 Chevy. Oh, I don't know. You know, I worked at a place where we did a P51 replica. And I'm P51'd out. I'm not that much of a warbirds guy, but I headed up the project, and man, it's pretty intense. It's all I worked on for about 2-3 years, something like that. They're putting LS Chevys in them.
Zero saying we got some good new folks here every week. We do, man. We do. I love these Sunday night shows are awesome.
If you're interested in that Mustang, look TitanAircraft.com and look at the Mustang, and they're running LS Chevys in them. It was never meant for that much power, but they're doing it.
672E Galaxy. Just watched it. Watch the moment it fires in slow-mo. It torques the frame. Well,
Where's this? I missed it. Where are you reading?
Right there.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah, it torques the frame. There's a few different videos of it starting, but that particular one with that lag between the crank and the actual light is the one that gets me every time. But there's a bunch of videos of them firing this thing up, and yeah, sometimes when it fires, it just rocks the whole thing. And this car is I'm going to say it's a good 5 feet tall, right? I mean, this isn't some sleek little Lotus IndyCar Formula One type of thing. No, this thing is like 6 feet freaking tall.
Oh, and the flames come out of there. It's like a series of explosions.
It's got exhaust ports that are like this, right? That just stick out the side of it. Like it's just the craziest thing. It's just the craziest thing. It's beautiful.
Your boy's been busy on the junkyard jet. Yeah, I think you were talking about that.
Douglas Fellow, in the video of the Beast of Turin, did you see the blue Valiant Charger behind the place? Well, I can't think of this guy's name who owns that car and did the restoration on it, but yes, he's got a road race early Barracuda. I think it's a '66 Barracuda back in the bay next to the one where he works on the Beast. But this guy, he's a really interesting fellow. He's I can't think of his name, okay, but I watched a whole thing on him, right? And he's into all these old like pre-World War One race cars, and he does these amazing restorations and stuff like that. It just all next level stuff. Like it's the kind of stuff that like guys like you or I could really only ever aspire to be.
Your Suzuki Sidekicks had 512 gears with a 5-speed. Must have been an overdrive on a 5-speed. Although those things I've never seen go very fast.
Duncan Pitaway, that's it. Duncan Pitaway. What an amazing fella. I mean, just amazing. Filming cops in the background. It's been a wild night here tonight.
I guess I don't even hear it. Where I live in Maryland, I always laugh. I say those sirens live up around the corner, right there at that block. Every call, everything that happens with sirens goes by my apartment. After a while, I don't even hear it. I sleep through it. And here, I didn't even hear that till somebody said something.
Reactive Gaming. Hey, Tony, I really need help. I've got a 727 and I cannot ever get the kickdown right. Please help. Hold the throttle all the way. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I don't know what you've got going on with the carburetor. Okay. if you can't get a proper adjustment out of your 727, I'll almost guarantee you're using an Edelbrock or a Carter or an Edelbrock or a Holly carburetor, and you're using the linkage position for a Chevy. Okay, I actually did a video on this. You have to drill a hole further down. Okay, so either Edelbrock or Holly, you're going to have the same situation, right? You're going to have, if you look at the linkage arm on the side of the carburetor, there's one big hole, okay, and that's when everybody attaches the throttle linkage to. If you look right under that, you'll see two smaller holes. One of the holes is just all by itself. It's just a flat hole. The hole next to it has a little raised area around it, like a built-in washer kind of thing. Okay, that's the hole you want to use for the Chrysler linkage. Here's the catch. The Chrysler linkage pin does not fit in that hole. So what you have to do is you have to drill the hole open so that the quarter 20 thread of the Chrysler linkage pin will screw into it. And you put your nut on the other side. Then you can adjust the kickdown linkage properly. But if you're using the Chevy or the Ford throttle position on those carburetors, that's why you'll never get a good adjustment out of it. Throttle Davidson, get the low car cable. No, the low car cable will not fix that. It's a geometrical issue. The Chrysler uses a different ratio on its gas pedal than General Motors or Ford does. General Motors and Ford use the same ratio. Chrysler uses its own ratio. So when you take the throttle linkage intended to be used on a Chevy or a Ford, or the universal one that they put on those carburetors, and you try to put it on with a stock Chrysler gas pedal, it doesn't work. The geometry is off. I'm going to do a video about that tomorrow because that's such a common thing.
Can you give any tips on replacing Chrysler unibody frame rails? What gauge metal? I'm not sure. That's some serious body work.
It's like a 16 gauge steel. I think it's 16 gauge. I'm not sure, man. Can I give any tips? Get right with your maker before you start doing it. It's a bitch. Just take your time. Just take your time.
You know who did a video on that?
Who?
Liz Lunar. He
Did he?
did it. Yeah, right
Okay.
there on a video. But it is, like I say, it has some serious body work. And you know, he replaced his with one from another car that was good.
Mr. Will says Buff is cool. I like Buff's vibe.
My vibe.
That sounds a little alternate lifestyle, maybe.
Man, I miss being down here. Actually, I sit there and I watch the Sunday night live from my apartment. It's not the same. It's being here.
This is different, right?
It says your Buff is a Pontiac man. I had a few Pontiacs. I really like Pontiacs, but you know, Pontiac disappeared. It was really sad. I had a '68 Firebird for a while. What else did I have? Oh God, an '07 Grand Prix GXP. That was a 150-mile-an-hour car. A sideways LS Chevy in the, front driver. What a crazy car that was.
Big Red Channel 20. See the video of John Force's fire? I've seen enough of John Force's fire in person. I don't really need to see a video of him. You should see the fire we had next to John Force.
Should I replace my coil
springs with shocks?
What?
Coil overs. He's thinking
Oh.
about. Geez, Chris, I don't know. I can't really answer that.
The Duluth trait shirt isn't. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta buy some black Duluth shirts and bring them down and have you guys do the
UTG stuff on
use
them?
the UTG stuff on them because I like the way these shirts fit.
Auto 1303. What year did Pontiac adopt a small block Chevy for engine? I I had a 94, a 94, an 84 Grand Prix that had a Pontiac motor in it. So I'm thinking it has to be after 85.
Somebody asked me how Area 51 was. They must have not been here earlier.
Area 52.
He says I'm from Area 52, and
Area
I
51
can't
is
say.
Area 51 is for the lightweight stuff. It's from Area 52. Danny Boy, late 70s in the USA. No, that's not true, man. Because I'm telling you, they still had. I had an '84 Grand Prix. It was a white '84 Grand Prix with burgundy interior. It was a beautiful car, and it had a Pontiac motor in it.
Hey,
Richard Lane, thank you, man. Richard Lane has graced us with 10 scuttles. Thank you very much, sir.
okay, what kind of word is that? Scuttles.
Scuttles. It means money.
Is that? I've never heard that before.
Well, it's yeah,
New York thing?
it's in New York. Chris Hansen, just a regular coil spring, not a coil over. Okay. Are they sagging? Check your ride height. See what the ride height is supposed to be on your car. It's easy enough to look up. Just look up the specs in your car, see what the ride height is, and then measure the ride height. And if you're significantly under that, then yeah, scuttle, yeah, lettuce, exactly. Which is slang for
Everyone claimed the Aztecs
cash.
were the worst vehicle. It's going to scroll by. It's gone.
Look, go ahead, go back to it. What was it?
It was some silliness. Uh, everyone right there, everyone claimed the Aztec was the worst vehicle ever. Well, it wasn't the best looking vehicle. But then Buick used it to make the Rendezvous, which all my friends that were in auto design called it the Rendezvous. And it was one of the best selling vehicles. Yeah, a friend of mine has a Rendezvous.
It's still a turd.
But yeah, they were really an odd vehicle. I remember I was up in Detroit area when that was, and they were all over the place up there because GM couldn't sell them, and they were giving them away to employees that had kids in college. And they were giving them to college kids because they couldn't sell them. Really odd car.
Well, pardon, I was able to buy the last 4 squirt bottles at a vendor's booth at the Hershey Fall Meet. We'll be putting the UTG stickers on them to make them official, of course. You're set, man. Excellent.
I was into retrofitting brass copper radiators to UFOs. Oh yeah, brass copper radiators. Oh, for everything.
J. Russell Finch, why do plugs act differently depending on brand? They all look the same. They do, and that's one of the reasons. Okay, like we were talking about the blast. Okay, you know why I wanted to have a thumper. That's exactly that's one of the first things I want to do with that bike. Is I'm going to put the same plug of each manufacturer in there, and see how they actually read differently. And Fubar just put the link up for our merch again, right? Thank you, Fubar. So if you want to buy hats, right, or t-shirts, Uncle Kathy prints these things. Uncle Crystal prints them and distributes them and does all that other stuff. So unless you live in Australia, because we just got screwed big time, cost us a lot of money, having to take care of returns from Australia. Unless you live in Australia, that the link that Fubar put up there, that's where you can get our stuff. Thank you, Fubar.
They can't print the shirts out on the other end.
What's that?
You need to get. They got to be able to print the shirts out on the other. They can buy their own shirts. And you send them this stuff to print on there.
We could
Electronic shirts.
Yeah. Mr. Well, 1981 was last year for a Pontiac engine. Are you sure about that? Maybe the car I had was an 81. I thought it was an 84. I had it for a while. This was back in, I want to say like 1990, 1981, 1990. It was still a relatively new car.
I was never so disappointed. I was at my shop and I opened up the hood on a Trans Am. There's a damn Oldsmobile engine. I was like, what? You got to be kidding me.
What's on it? Doesn't the beast need at least a few feet of exhaust pipe? You would think so, but bro, it was 1911 when they built the stuff. They had no conception of scavenging or anything like that.
Since Pontiac made Iron Dukes into the 1990s, yeah, but I think we're talking about the V8s here. I had an Iron Duke. I like that engine. A lot of people don't like it. Simple little pushrod engine with a cross-flow head on it.
Well, put down Uncle Tony. When they get the Hershey videos up, look for the motorcycle section. They had some cool Japanese vintage bikes there, including a very cool Kawasaki triple. I watched a video. See, okay, so here, I mean, I think we've talked about this. I'm looking to start other channels, spin-off channels from this one. I'm not going to change the channel. The channel is going to be the same. But there are many other things that I want to do. I want to do a Jeep channel. I want to do a motorcycle channel. So I've been binge watching certain, like types of videos to try to get ideas how I want to go with this stuff and who I want, because I'm not going to be on those channels. I'm going to have other people, be the presenter, right? So I've been watching a lot of motorcycle videos, and one of them was I saw this last night. This is like the craziest thing. Okay, somebody took a Kawasaki triple. No, let me rephrase that. Somebody took a lot of Kawasaki triple engines and sectioned them out and made a 48 cylinder Kawasaki triple. Okay?
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That must have sounded.
Here, find it. 48 cylinder Kawasaki triple. Okay? And it has a motorcycle engine included in there as the starter. And I watched this video of these two guys. They spent probably 10 minutes revving the piss out of a motorcycle engine starter, which is a motorcycle engine, to try to get this thing to light, and then it finally lit, and it was there. It was kind of like it was a letdown. You know what I mean? It was like anticlimactic. But yeah, I mean, it was just about the craziest thing, man. It was just there's 4 rows of however many cylinders it takes to add up to 12. 4 rows of 12 cylinders to make 48.
Why is it nobody likes the Crossfire injection engine, like the Corvettes and the Camaros?
They never ran right. If you
Man, I had one that ran so well. And it's just 2 throttle bodies. I just never got why people hated them so much.
because they always ran like shit. They didn't run
Oh
good,
my
man.
God. Carl had a Corvette with one. I don't know. I drove that car a lot. It was nice. Oh. Well, they weren't fast, but they ran.
Charles Parr, Tony, do not do a motorbike channel before you watch a bunch of Fort 9 videos. Okay, I've never even heard of them. I'll check it out. Best motorcycle channel I've ever seen. I have been watching Bikes and Beards, and I think this guy is just phenomenal. I love his channel, everything he does. He's just a fantastic guy.
Okay, I got a question about spark plugs. You're going to do this. You're talking about doing this where you change plugs and try them and all this. How do you determine what plug goes in there? Because what I always hear is the cross-reference charts.
Right.
The heat ranges they're not aligned properly. So what do? Go by the chart that the manufacturer?
Now I see. I do only like my engines, right? So I
Okay.
know what plugs I want to use in them. I couldn't answer that question for somebody else.
Okay.
I just know automatically I want this plug in this engine and I want that plug in that engine because I've been doing it for so long with these same engines. SRP.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's right. I wanted a SRP. I'd rather watch doing no prep drag racing. SRP. I would love to do no prep drag racing. My problem is I don't have the infrastructure to go any type of drag racing, no prep racing, any type of racing. I don't have the home team. I don't have the ability to actually go out and devote the time and attention to a car or an attempt like that it takes. So there's right now there's no chance of me doing anything like that. As we grow the channel and as I have more hands and I have people who can do things while I'm gone or while I'm buried in a car, then we'll start doing shit like that. But for right now, no, I don't have that. It's me and Uncle Kathy, and it takes to run this channel to keep everything going. It's 18 hours a day. There is no time for a no prep car or any type of car right now. Not to say that I don't want to do it. I would love to do it. I It'll come in the future. We just don't have it. It's just not in the cards right now.
Joe Brennan said he painted his 390 Ford, the FE engine, with Ford Blue from, where did he say it was from? From Eastwood. He said it looks like a work of art, and I can understand that. There's only one color belongs on those engines, and that's it. Yeah. What is no prep drag race? That's where you just go out there and run.
They don't glue the track. They prep. No prep is kind of a misnomer. There is some prep. The track is cleaned, but it's not prepped the way, let's say,
Okay,
they
it's a
don't
track
spray
thing.
glue and then clean the glue. Scrape the glue, and the track is partially prepped, but not fully prepped.
Because we watched one drag race where there was no trouble at all. You know who it was?
Who's that?
It was Crystal. She
That's
went out there.
right.
She went out there, her daily driver, and just blasted down the track several times. Came out with a big smile on her face.
Reactor Gaming 13, thank you, sir. Thank you for taking care of your audience. Looking forward to watching that kickdown video tomorrow. Been a pain in my ass since I got into Mopars. All right, yeah, no, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm definitely going to do that tomorrow. SRP, what does PYOP mean?
PYOP.
Uh,
Hmm?
Nicholas B, Uncle Tony, a video between the difference between the similarities between the different Mopar body platforms. I think I did that already, bro. I think I did that already.
Is that the one where you had the body in the rotisserie? You were at a shop and you had the
Yeah,
body in the
I think
rotisserie,
I
and you
covered a
talked
lot of
about
the
that.
differences
But
there.
it would be fun to do kind of the history thing, starting with the Valiant Ford, because you talk about that some, but unless you really know the cars, you might not understand all that. Black engines is the Magnum was the black, not the orange or blue. Really?
Pit your own pistons. Pee in your own plants.
What is this?
I know. Some SRP said PYOP, and I asked what it meant. Thank you, Max Wedge Dick Dastardly. Uh, oh, pour your own puddle. Right, yeah, pour your own puddle. Okay.
Oh, your own track prep. I
Yeah.
get it.
See, I'm not up on the lingo.
See, now we got the helicopters coming over. Black helicopters coming over the house.
Torque plates and red lights. Good night, man. Wayne Ferguson, wild will pistons be for the 360 junkyard jet? No, I'm just going to tell her to get some just zero deck forged pistons. Nothing crazy. Jason Fitch, been watching DD Speed Chop recently. He made me feel like such a lazy bastard, and I went out and finished welding my floors. That's what I love about channels. That's what I love about channels like his, like ours. Because we actually do inspire people to get out there and work on their shit. You know, that's kind of like the point of like why we do these things. Next, a giant triangle. Yeah, you got to work on a giant triangle.
Oh, a big black triangle
Yeah,
that
big
hovers
black
over
triangle.
the
Yeah,
house.
yes. SRP must be from Detroit.
Why is that?
Stripper glitter. I guess that's the phrase that they use up
Oh,
in Detroit.
oh.
I think no prep is probably one of the best. I mean, people will argue, you know what I mean, but I think that the whole no prep movement is one of the best things to happen in drag racing in like literally forever. Because it is the great equalizer. You go to these prep races, like like ducks races. They're very the great races, but man, it's money, okay, and that's it. It's just like everybody's got the same basic traction, so it's just like, no, how much money can you throw at this thing to make it go? No prep is a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's money doesn't really cut it. It's more of a tuner's game, and it actually brings the driver into the equation, which is like unheard of in drag racing. A driver that actually does something besides just twitch the wheel every once in a while. No, it's I have great appreciation for the whole no prep movement.
SRP's from Ohio.
Yeah.
We're in Ohio. Ohio's big. I was up in the northeast corner for 15 years in that cold, white misery. But I had a cool job up there.
SRP is from Ohio. Okay.
Yeah, I just wonder what part of Ohio, because Ohio's huge. Not as big as Texas, but it's big.
Yeah, you and Fitzy's Fab have really motivated to get stuff moving. I keep hearing Fitzy's Fab's name, but I've yet to check out the channel.
Oh, I've watched that. Not a lot, but I've watched it.
Colleen Tabo, UT, what year did Mopar go to black engines? Uh, that's a good question. Um, they went to black engines in 1983. I think it was 1983. Thank you, Chris Hansen. Danny Boyd. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. My record is a 1980 with a 360. It's blue, and I'm pretty sure up to like 82, 83, I believe they went black. Charles Parr, Fitzy, he is the freaking best. I know now that there are just people who are gifted with freaking magic because I watch him make car parts out of rust. He's also a Newfie. I don't know what a Newfie is. Oh, Newfoundland. Okay.
You missed that, though. The super chat.
What is it?
You missed a super
I
chat.
missed a super chat. How did I miss a super chat? Good Lord.
It's a green one. It's a green one.
I'm going back. Oh, turbos and bros and turbos. Just some money for gas might only get you a few ounces, but still.
That's right.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. But now I have an inferiority complex because Fitzy is so much better than I am. There's a lot of guys out there better than I am. I watch people with
stuff he does stuff that's different than what you do. Fixing stuff, making cheap parts.
Mr. Pure Country, Tony, I understand you built a 400 Chrysler Stroker using the stock rods. Would like to know more about that. I've built several 400 strokers using the stock rods. Just no magic. Just order the pistons for stock rods. Mike Payne, some say that no prep is safe drag racing. I will agree with that. I will agree with that. No prep made it so that a working man or a couple of guys, if Buff and I was to team up and work with like regular resources and we could have a car that would be competitive at any given time as opposed to like a prep situation where, like I said, everything is glued solid to the tracks. Now the only question is how much power can you make, right? And how power just costs money. But when you take that prepper, you reduce the prep and you reduce the tire size, so that because to me the small tire racing is. Big tire no prep is okay, but to me, small tire no prep, the 10-inch no tire no prep is where it's at. I think that's just amazing. So you take the tire away and you take the traction away, And now that's the great equalizer, and everybody has a chance to get at the other end. Hollyhock, Tony, I've never done a stroker. Is it only a crank, or is there more to change on the engines for a stroker? Pistons, you've always got to change pistons when you're building a stroker, but there are so many different degrees of stroker. Like you could take the 440 crank, put in a 400 block, end up with the 451. Awesome combination. It's the combination that Chrysler should have built from the factory, but they didn't. But then you go all the way to like 600 freaking cubic inches, where you get into like everything is special, everything is modified. So stroker is such a broad term, you know.
Getting tired?
Yes.
You're yawning. Oh.
Comrade Tony, are you into jet airplanes? Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. I'm into hit and miss engines. Like I like the exact
Hit and
opposite.
miss. Man, that's a. Have you ever watched those things?
I love hit and miss engines, bro. I was watching some hit and miss videos the other night, and Kathy's like, so I'm sitting, I'm watching this like 20
Such a
minutes.
strange way to regulate an engine, you know?
Oh, but it's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
but it's so strange.
Well, I'm sitting there, I'm like 15 minutes into this 20-minute long hit and miss engine video, and Kathy's like, she was walking past, she looks at the TV, and she's like, do you really get something out of that? And I'm like, yeah, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen, you know?
F-14 with sweep wings it's been a nightmare to maintain. Man, I worked with a lot of guys that were retired Navy guys that worked on the F-14s. They all love those airplanes, but we never talked much about them. Just they were good guys to work with.
The amazing thing, what I find so fascinating about hit and miss engines, is that these things were used in factories and stuff like that to turn conveyors. Because back in the day, all of like machine shops and everything all ran off of conveyor belts, and that's what the hit and miss engines were used for. They'd run these conveyor belts, and they would like buy one in like 1908, and they would run it until like 1937, right? And the thing was never shut off.
Just ran.
They just ran. They just ran. They
Hit and
never.
miss for like 40 years.
Yeah, for like 30 or 40 years, they would just sit there. Just fucking, just whizzing along, doing their thing, undisturbed for like decades on end. Lives would come and go. You know what I mean? Like people would be born and died and been productive in the time that from the time this engine was started to the time it was shut off.
I worked in a shop in Pennsylvania. It was next to a river, and it had a big shaft. The length of the shop, it was run from a water wheel.
Yeah.
And then they had belts down to all the machines. But by the time I was there, the belts were all gone, and the water wheel was gone, but the shaft was still there. And they'd hack electric motors onto all the machines. But the machines were all built in 1900, just before, just after. And they were good machines. But electric now. I never saw anyone hit and miss engines. Buff channel, I mean. Buff, how much we shot at Maryland, Tennessee? I never been to Tennessee. Okay, I'm way out on southern Maryland on the peninsula, and it's 760 miles to my house in Clarksville. That's a pretty good run. I do it usually all at once, and I am tired when I get home. And it's about the same distance here, just little different roads, but 750 miles. And that's from the far eastern end of Maryland. No, I guess no, because there's the eastern shore. But I'm on southern Maryland, Pax River Naval Air Station, that area.
Charles Parr, what the fuck is a hit and miss engine?
Oh man, go look it up. It's amazing. I stumbled into that, I don't know, a few years ago, and the same thing. I just watched it. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's gearhead porn, right? It's like it's total gearhead porn. You can't beat this. Okay, what a hit and miss engine is, the stationary engine, okay, and they're using the power all different types of machinery. So what it is it's a single cylinder engine. It's a thumper. Okay, they don't have a spark plug. Usually they have like a bulb. When I say bulb, it's like a steel ball. Okay, that they heat till it's almost like till it's cherry red, and that's the ignition source when you first start it. Once you start it, the heat from the combustion cycles keeps it going. So it's a giant single cylinder with a big fucking heavy connecting rod, big huge stroke, and they're connected to flywheels. So they generally have two flywheels, and the flywheels are enormous and they weigh a ton. The exhaust valve on the engine is attached through a linkage to one of the flywheels, so that while the engine is maintaining a certain RPM, the exhaust valve is hung open, so there's no compression, there's no pumping losses, and the thing will just sit there and freewheel. As it starts to slow down, the governor that's on the flywheel engages the exhaust valve, and the motor will hit a couple of times. It'll go poof, poof, and speed the flywheels back up again. And then the exhaust is disengaged, and then again it freewheels. And they'll sit there, like it'll sit there and spin for like 30 seconds with silent, doesn't make any sound at all. And then you hear like poof, 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 and the thing starts going again like this. So it's just one shot, poof, and it speeds up. They just it's gearhead. It's like this. If you're a real gearhead, right? It's just porn. It's awesome.
I saw a couple questions here back. I'm trying to remember what they were. Somebody asked about the run from Maryland down to here. It's a pretty nice drive. Once you get out of Maryland, it's all interstate. Maryland's kind of a pain. It's all back roads. There's just no interstates. From Southern Maryland. Second question, somebody asked me what Studebaker I have. I have a 61 Lark. It's a two-door sedan. It has a post. It's all apart. It's completely apart. And the last one was, I don't remember. Somebody asked something else, and I forgot.
Okay, what?
Oh, it's way back. It's just flying here.
No, Danny Boyd. Okay, that's it. Danny Boyd, I love that. Balls out comes from the balls which act as flyweights on the centrifugal force on the governor. So you've seen this in like science fiction movies and stuff like that. There's a thing that's spinning and it's got the balls. Right? Well, that's a governor for like a hit and miss style engine. That's one type of governor.
Balls are weights, and the centrifugal force moves them out like this, and that's the governor. When they move all the way out, then they're
right.
That's the highest speed it
goes. That's one type of governor. They have another type of governor that works off the flywheel. And somebody was talking about having a hit and miss engine run at 0 RPM. That's not a true hit and miss. I know the engine. I know the type of engine that you're talking about. And I've seen it actually happen. It'll run at 0 RPM. It'll go back and forth. It won't actually spin the complete revolution. It'll just run back and forth like this, so the flywheel never makes a revolution. But that's not a true hit and miss engine. There's another type of name. There's another name for that, and it'll come to me.
A hit and miss engine just keeps the flywheels at a speed, and it fires enough to keep the flywheels there, and then it misses when it's going fast enough, and it's crazy.
Yeah, steam engines have them right.
Oh, the balls out. Yeah, that's what that term comes from. Balls out means those balls are all the way out, and it's as fast as it goes. Whoa.
Yeah, Jason's goes. Ball governors we use on steam engines, but I've also seen them used in hit and miss applications.
Perpetual motion. Perpetual motion's something else.
Brian Joss, I know you doubt about electric vehicles, but why hasn't anyone brought back steam power? Because it's insanely dangerous. Steam power is steam power has to be completely maintained all the time during its running period, right? A steam engine, if you neglect it just for a couple of seconds, it will explode and kill everybody around it. It has to the crown sheet on the steam engine always has to be wet. Always has to be wet. So if you've got like it's okay as long as you've got a fireman. The fireman's job is to make sure that. So if you look at like the steam cars from the old days, they weren't very efficient, and the bigger applications they're insanely dangerous, maintenance intensive.
Read about, if you like to read about Civil War era moving troops from the South after the Civil War up the Mississippi River on steam powered vessels, and boiler explosions.
Come on.
It just scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, a steam engine isn't something you want in the hands of the general public that's going to neglect and not. Yeah.
I had a friend built a steam car, the Honda motorcycle engine, 4-cylinder Honda,
Oh, really?
and then well, I built the radiator, so it was a uh, closed steam system. So the radiator would condense it back into water again and recirculate it through. But there's all this pressure sitting there all the time. Hey, there's DeSoto.
Jenny Sweet McDonald, that's the boiler, Tony, not the engine. You need the boiler to operate the engine. They're one and the same.
You're not gonna do it without the boiler. Steam makes the best power. I don't know.
Steam makes some crazy power. He's right about that.
You talking about your hit and miss engines?
Yeah.
Hit and miss, and then
Watching
steam
it the other
engines.
night.
I haven't talked to that guy in a while. I gotta call him. I don't know whatever happened to that steam car he had. He'd get in that thing and it just start moving. You know how the electric cars sound where you don't hear anything?
Right.
He'd have pressure already in the system. He'd get in it, it'd just go away. It just no noise. Your pebbles pop out from under the tires.
SRP, you're a Boilermaker. Excellent. That's like a true forgotten craft, man.
That's a drink.
Yeah.
That I've been abducted by it. No, we abduct the aliens. We're in charge.
No, steam makes the steam is just amazing. There's so many things that like the average gearhead, people who would really appreciate these things are never exposed to. You know what I'm saying? Because they're ancient technologies, they're like forgotten technologies.
Ancient technology.
No, Buff abducted the aliens.
Yeah.
That's right. We're in charge. They're not in charge. Oh man, no videos on that steam car. I'll tell you what, I built that radiator back in my first radiator shop, which was in the 1970s. So no. And that guy's retired, and he was a crazy pilot, but he can't even fly anymore. But I talked to him some. I'll call him and I'll find out what happened to that. And maybe he has some pictures.
Wayne Buzzle, there was Bulldog Tractor 0 RPM 2-stroke. Okay.
Jay Leno steam engines. Yeah, have you ever watched any of Jay's stuff with the steam engines?
Yeah.
He'd be going along, toof, 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 toof. Steam coming out of it. People giving him crap about polluting. He goes, "It's just water. It's water."
Charles Parr, some may trade as steam fitter. They used to be dangerous, but nowadays they can be made safer. It's just that they are not complicated. External combustion needs to be maintained, but they don't. Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It has to be maintained. Just don't maintain their regular cars. Could you imagine them maintaining, a steam? No.
People treat their cars like a appliance, and yeah, some things you got to pay attention to.
Diesel locomotives are some of the first hybrids, if you think about it. They're really not hybrids because they never actually run on the diesel engine itself. The diesel engine turns the generator. So they're really, I mean, you could think of them as a hybrid, but they're not a hybrid in the way that we think of a hybrid for a car. I just gotta hit. You take care of this. I gotta just hit the bathroom real quick.
Okay, a question for you though: did you get the new lifters for Bottle Rock?
Yes.
Yes, he got them, but I don't know any more than that. So when Tony gets back, you can talk to him. Now I'm trying to figure out what I can answer here.
Oh yeah.
There's other stuff I could answer, and it went by too fast.
Did it?
Woodworks, but coal gives the power. Oh man, I used to burn when I was in Ohio. I burned coal in my wood stove to keep the shop warm. I never thought I'd be doing that. Okay, F body at Norwood with the Crossfire fuel injection. If I agree, yeah, I like the Crossfire, but I don't know. A lot of people didn't like. A lot of people really hated it. So, Buff, when do we get to see the two-door? Well, you know, here's the deal with the Studebaker. It's in my shop in Tennessee, and um, I'm working in Maryland, and I've got a pretty serious project going up there. But when I finish that project, I'm going to be back to retirement. Then I'll be then I got to wrap up the Studebaker project, and then in the meantime, I bought a Jeep that has a few problems, but I can get that going.
What year
Let's
Jeep
see
did you
here.
buy?
I bought an '08 Jeep uh, Patriot,
Okay.
which is kind of just like a car that looks like a Jeep.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
what's my favorite engine? Oh man, there's so many good engines. Um, oh man, all of a sudden there's stuff I want to answer and it's going by in a hurry. What's my favorite engine? Man, I don't know. I had, you know, there's stuff I had and I like it because I had it back in the old days. Y block Fords, but they're not very good engines. Um, I don't know. I guess they are. They're kind of a pain because the way the lifters are. The lifters, you got to take the cam out to get the lifters out. That's a problem. FE Fords I like. Oh, I know my favorite engine. 351 Windsor. Absolutely. I had 351 Windsors and I love those things. Do you have any classic cars besides the Lark? I had so many cars, but they came and went. Um, uh,
We've had over 1,000.
oh God, I had Camaros, Mustangs, Pontiac Bonnevilles, what else? Got every 1950s Ford product you can think of. 61, 62, 63, 64 Fords. 60 Ford. Oh, I like that car. Um, man, what else? Pontiac. I know there were other Pontiacs. Oh, Grand Ams and Grand Prix. Those were newer. I know there were other Pontiacs. I had a 67 Bonneville that I really liked. That was a big cruiser, but it was a nice car. Um,
Joe Bark.
God, what else did I have? I had so many cars with the engines. Oh, I had Dodge Darts. I had Dodge Polara. A 63 Plymouth. It was my brother's. I loved that car. 63 Fury. That got me in jail. What did he say about the Y block? Y block was a beast of its day. Yeah. Well,
Huh.
I had a friend that had a Y block with a blower on it. It was 300 horsepower, which is
Well,
really something.
they came with a Latham supercharger.
What's that?
They came with a Latham, the 312.
Really?
It was
It was a supercharger. There was a
it was
factory supercharged option on those.
right. It was a McCullough.
Was it McCullough or
It was a McCullough supercharger, and it was
Really?
what was this? But Buff did not. Man, I can't read this fast. Uh, Buff did not put a zip tie on the Duster drive shaft. No, I didn't do that. I don't
Andy's in the house. Andy, Unity Motorsports Garage has arrived. Andy, I just saw your text like right before I got backed up on texts. I mean it was like 60 of freaking things. So I just saw yours. I'll give you a call tomorrow. But no, I haven't done anything with the car since.
steam powered 63 Ford Falcon. Man, that must have been something from Australia. Well, I love looking at the cars from Australia. You know, because they got some cool stuff that's kind of like American cars, but stuff we don't get here.
Mis-
Monaros and oh, I can't even remember them all. The Falcons down there are nothing like the Falcons here.
Mr. Will, Ultra Kathy.
Oh yeah, I had a '67 Cougar. There, I had a '67 Cougar with a Chevy engine. In it.
Ultra Kathy, Mr. Will wants to know what is your all-time favorite car?
My all-time favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. My all-time favorite cars are like the ones that I drove on the daily. That's why. I don't know.
Okay.
Like the GTX and the Roadrunner. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't really have a particular a dream car
No.
sort of thing.
I
She
get attached to my daily.
she gets attached to the things she drives on a daily basis.
There's
So
some cars I'd like to. I'd like to have a '58, '59, or '60 Thunderbird, the Square Birds. It seems like nobody likes those cars, but I kind of like them.
But wait,
But they're
I gotta
all
say, I do
old
like
now,
B
and
bodies.
hard to find good ones.
yeah, you're a B body
I'm
lover.
not like Dusters are not my favorite.
You don't like the
What about
Schwinger?
the A bodies?
I like them, but I prefer B bodies.
I like B
I don't
bodies,
know
but
why.
and my favorite of the Chryslers is probably the '60 Valiant,
Good night, Big Bear.
the Road Toad. Love those cars. Love the 58 Ford and T-Bird grill. Yeah,
Yeah, they're nice.
I've seen people take those T-Bird bumper grills and put them on, on a like a 56 Ford, and it looks kind of cool. Old customizing stuff from the early 60s. Uh, and the Y blocks, I liked them because I had them. But man, we did everything we could back then to find FEs, which we called big blocks then, because that's what they were then. Um, and we put the thing to do then was to get a 390, bore it 80 thousandths, and put 406 pistons in it. And even though it wasn't a 406, you had 406 cubic inches, and you called it a 406, and put tri power on it. That was fun stuff.
Bruce W. Tony Plansy, have you managed to get any sort of testing in after the carb mods? No, I visually and you could hear it, feel it, but I visually confirmed that the problem was fixed. Andy, Unity's Motorsports Garage, hooked me up. He is the man. Anything having to do with carburetors, this is the guy. Um, I visually confirmed that issue was fixed, but I'm telling you, I know I hurt the bottom end of the motor, so I don't want to. I don't want to scatter it. I got too many hours in that block. Taking weight out of that freaking block. I went ahead and I ordered a set of 30 over rod bearings for it because I spun 2 bearings. So I don't want to do anything else with it now until I pull the crank. I'm going to send the crank out to be cut 30, fix the oil pan, build an oil pan for it, and then we'll pick up from there. But I'm content right now. I may take it out in front of the shop and just do a first gear squirt. Let me just see how that, but I really don't want to hurt it any more than it might already be hurt.
Somebody asking me here if I ever played with shoebox cars. I love 49 Fords. Never had one. But my father bought a 53 Ford brand new with a flathead in it. And that was the first car I ever rode in. And just because of that, I wouldn't mind having a 53. And that's basically the same chassis. 54, they look the same, but they're not the same underneath. So the 53 is really that. Somebody else here, dang, the FE blocks would take 80 thousandths. All the old ones did. I don't know about the new ones. The original 390s, like in the early 60s, yeah, we bored out a lot of them out to 80 and put 406 pistons in. And then, yeah, like they say here, the 6V intake.
Charles Parr, thank you. Beer Fun, thank you for what you do here. Too bad I can't bring it over. Have to go. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
But see, I got in trouble in cars because I was crazy and I almost killed myself. I get tickets and tickets and tickets. And then I got a pilot's license. And then I really calmed down in the cars because in the airplane, I was allowed to go out and scare the hell out of myself. And I did a few times. And, I was like, get out of the airplane, shaking and go, man, I almost ate it. So I don't know, whatever it was I was doing in cars, then I did it in airplanes. Now I don't do it anything. I drive sanely now. First car, 67 Mustang with a 289. I had a 67 Fastback with a 289. And my friend had one with a 390. I liked his better.
SRP Tony, really due to no prep or bottle rocket that is saving the drag racing sport. Look into it. I don't have to look into it. I am not in a position to go race anything. I have to move heaven and hell just to get to a simple test and tune session right now. You have no idea. This channel eats up 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. I mean, it's a good business. I get compensated very well for this, but there's no time to do anything else. And the thing about this channel is that it's not a drag racing channel. Most of the audience, the biggest portion of the audience, is into just regular cars and screwing around. They're playing with carburetors and headers and they don't really care about drag racing. I love drag racing. Drag racing was my life. It was my religion for a long time. For 15 years, it's all I did. I mean, but I don't have the facility to do that right now. As time goes on, you know what I mean, and I start building a team of more people, because that's the biggest limiting factor right now is hands. Those are the ones I have. That's all I have. And Uncle Kathy runs the production end of UTG and holds down the fort and everything else. We have nobody. I don't have a dog sitter. I don't have anybody. It's like we're at the max. So as we add people to the team, as we grow and create more channels and add more human bodies to the mix, then I can start looking at doing things like that. But right now, it's just not time.
Wayne Ferguson, I'm with you on the Windsor Buff, but 318s are my babies. Well, here's the deal. I really like the Windsor, but that 63 Plymouth that I used to drive, I got in trouble in that thing. It had a poly in it, and now I want to build a couple of polys, and I don't know what I'm going to put them in yet, but I'm really into that. So I don't know which 318s you're into, but I like those polys. And then somebody else said something here that uh, I just can't respond quickly enough. You were talking about only having two hands. That's where I'm at right now. I'm in the middle of this project where I work, and it's intense. I'm the guy that does the design work. I do the welding. I do the fiberglass. I'm really into fiberglass right now, and it's really nice, high quality. I say fiberglass. It's composite stuff, and and I'm really having fun with that. But I'll be happy when that job's over and I can get back to my cars because I really want to do the cars. The airplanes are a job now. I've been doing airplanes too long. It becomes work.
Oh, you check it out. Good night, Andy. Barium exposure, Uncle Tony. Will you make it back to the track with Battle Rocket? Yes. Before this month is out, we'll go out one more time with the car. Yes.
The weather's so nice here right
I
now.
know.
It's getting cool in Maryland, and it is still pretty nice up there, but it's nicer here.
Wayne
We,
Buzzle. Any more on the blast? I'm waiting for. I ordered the ignition module for it. I still haven't gotten it yet, so I'm waiting for that. It's one of them back order things. But well, I'll tell you what. Listen to me, right? If you ever get a chance to ride a Buell Blast, do it because they named it accurately. It's a blast. It is absolutely one of the most fun little motorcycles I've ever ridden. It's awesome.
he says here he has LA's because Polly be out of place in his E-body, I guess. I guess my hope is to find another 63 Plymouth Fury. I man, I like those cars. Mexican Spec has one. That's why I started paying attention to him. But he's got like everything. Tony Buff. Remember when pickup was the term they used for I
Acceleration.
do remember that. My father used to say that. That car has pickup. He said that about his 56 Ford. He had a 56 Ford with a Y block in it.
Yeah.
And after the flathead 53 Ford, the 56 Ford had pickup.
Head pickup.
That's right.
Videos are a ton of work. It's not just a video. I mean, making the video, shooting the actual shooting of the video is probably like one of the smallest parts of it. It's just, I'm telling you, it's it's endless. The amount of attention that this channel takes is just endless.
You sent me an email. I'll look at it when I get home because I got about a good hour and a half, probably hour and 45-minute drive from here to get home, and then I'll be sitting in front of my computer. I love my '63 Savoy. Yep, I can understand that. I'd love to have another one. It was my brother's car. It was a '63 Plymouth two-door hardtop, which means it did not have a post, and it had a 318 poly in it, but it, it went fast enough. I got in trouble. I ended up in jail.
Uh,
And now I don't care if I have the fastest car. I just want a car that I like.
yeah, I don't really care either. I've gotten to
It's
that
like
point. Yeah.
right. I mean, a whole lot of other people are in here that weren't here earlier. I had a friend in Tucson, probably my closest friend. He was killed in a car crash, a couple months ago. But he has he, his his uh, his estate has a '65 Plymouth station wagon, a Fury with 318. The engine's no good, but if you're interested in a car like that has absolutely no rust on it, give me an email and I'll get you in touch with people how to get the thing. And my email is Buff Del Campo, one word, Buff Del Campo at gmail.com. And if you're serious about it, I'll get you in touch with the people that are the guy that's the executor of the estate. and it's a really decent car. It's straight and there's no rust, and really it was left to me, but I can't. I'm in Tennessee and working in Maryland. I just can't go out to Arizona and get this thing. It's just not possible. So I'd like to see somebody that likes Mopars get that thing. It's a nice car. It's not perfect. It's but you could clean it and put an engine in it, run it the way it is, or you could restore it pretty easily and make a really nice car out of it.
Bruce W. Tony, 426. Other day I asked you about the piston out the bores. What was the greatest drag racing engine? Well, I mean, you got to take that. That's a split category, okay? Supercharged and on exotic fuels. The Hemi, the 426 Hemi, is obviously the undisputed king of that. But normally aspirated, nitrous, turbos, alcohol, anything really but nitromethane, the big block Chevy. The big block Chevy and derivatives of the big block Chevy are the undisputed drag racing champion of the world.
That's another engine I wouldn't mind having someday. Something big block
What's that?
Chevy. You know, when I was moving, the guy that was helping me, he was pulling my big trailer. He had a Suburban 454 in it, and we'd made a couple of trips in that. And then he sold that Suburban and bought another one that had the bigger one. It's like a 496. What is that thing? It's the liters. I don't know what it is. That thing pulled hard. Man, that pulled that trailer nice.
Audie Draper, Tony, I would love to donate a 70s race car paint job on Bottle Rocket. No, I love the way Bottle Rocket looks with that kind of like ratty powder blue paint on it. I don't want to change it. I love the way that car looks. The black steelies and
Which is about a Belenka.
Thank you though. I appreciate the offer.
Belenka Viking for sale cheap. Is that something you want or
no
something you have?
Is.
It's an airplane. It's a
okay.
It's a hot rod. Nice airplane.
Oh geez, we're coming up on 3 hours, Buff.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are.
This flew.
Yeah, it's nice out here. Having a good time. Mosquitoes aren't eating us. And I miss being on this. This is this is fun. I sit there in my apartment watching the, and I want to respond to everybody, and I got to just sit there and be quiet.
Oh, Tony, you said Bottle Rocket looks like the old cabs from your youth. Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like.
Somebody here, who's this? A-Dog. Looking to get a 66 Ford Galaxy 500 with 4-speed, and wondering what your opinion of them, and if you think it's a good classic car, being my first car and being a teenager. Well, first, it's an old car, so you're going to have, old car problems. But if it's a decent old car, yeah, it's a simple car. It's not late model stuff. It's a simple car. It should be a good thing. And they had small blocks in them, and they had FEs in them, so you got a real good, and 6 cylinders. You have a real good choice of engines that'll bolt in, and a lot of stuff's still available. I was just looking for a steering gear for one, and I noticed that you can still get steering gears for them. I think just about everything's available for those cars. You have a 9-inch Ford rear end. Yeah, sure.
Kevin says his dad passed away. Kevin, I'm sorry for your loss.
What is it? I missed something there. Can Buff do the Wednesday night? No, that's not my thing. That's Tony's and what do you guys call that? That's a AHRA thing.
Guys, we're gonna pack it in because it's been going. It's like 3 hours now.
And I plan on being back
I'm
next
done.
week. I'll be here another week.
He'll be here next Sunday.
So
the Buff Del Campo is going to be here next Sunday. Actually, that might be a long show because I'm going to try to get Steve Magnanti for next Sunday also.
So what do you want to do?
Well, we could do both. Steve will hang out for an hour or two, and you hang out for an hour or two, and I'll just
Sure.
be here for a long time.
I don't want to butt in on somebody else's
You won't be
time.
butting in, brother.
But
This is your home
This is
too.
my chance. I got time to do this, and I really enjoy doing this.
So, for those of you who missed it, next, not this weekend, coming up, but the following weekend is going to be the we're going to put the Hemi together and put it in the GTX and get it running. So that's going to be 3 days of live. Will be Friday night live, Saturday, and then Sunday. So if you guys want to watch that whole card go together, be there for that. What else is there?
Man,
I'm drawing a blank. Okay. See, that's what happens if I'm on for too long. I
you
zone out.
start stumbling.
Yeah. So, yeah, it slips out of gear.
See, and you took the bathroom break. I haven't taken the bathroom
I
break
know,
yet.
bro.
So now I can't think.
You got kidneys of like, granite. Okay.
And I drank this much Diet Coke. And this, see, it's really the dark stuff. It's not
It's not that weird
doesn't look
alien
like,
piss that you were.
yeah. Just because that's what happens when you mix Diet Coke and what did I mix?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Yeah, so something light colored. It looked like urine.
So that weekend, not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend, we'll be live for 3 days. The Junkyard Jet crew is going to be there helping with everything, right? And Andy, of course, coming down. So that'll be 3 days. The weekend of the 20-something, 23rd, I believe it is. Next, of course, every Wednesday night we'll be here with Dallas, AHRA Drag Racing History Channel, and I think I'm supposed to shoot a video with him tomorrow for his channel. So that's going on there. I can't think of anything else. Right? That's it. Yeah, is that it? I think that's it. I have to stop now.
You have to stop now?
Yes. Our mods are awesome mods. John, Ari, Fubar, Zero, in no particular order. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for everything
They are
you
so
do.
good. Your trolls that you like? I haven't seen any.
I think the trolls are just getting tired because it's like 4 people with 10 different names or 20 different names, and I think they're just getting tired. But everybody who contributed with Super Chat, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's what pays the bills. It keeps the wheels turning here. Thank you. Everybody who just contributed with good conversation and your awesome presence, thank you. Our Sunday Night Lives, I think, are some of the best to be found on YouTube. We have just the most amazing group of regular people here.
Oh, and there's Dakota.
And
Good to see you. Dakota's all the way through the whole show.
Dakota is awesome. It's awesome. You're all awesome. So that's it. I'm gonna pull a plug. Check out that Beast of Turin video, the trailer video. It was like 30 different Beast of Turin videos, but check out the ones more disabled this trailer. It's just amazing. You're gonna love it. And that's it, guys. Oh, good. Dakota's been timed out again.
You got timed out at the end?
That's it. That's it.
Oh God. Sorry, guys.
I'm gonna hit this button and it's all over. Say goodnight, Buff.
Yeah, good night.
You're supposed to say goodnight, Buff.
Good night, Buff.
There you go.
Okay.
Good night.